We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:00, 8:01 now, actually. And I just had to set my schedule up for today because apparently my coworkers don't realize that I don't sit around my ass all day long like they do,
Well, first off, you said I work all the time, always.
I do.
Was it working when you went to the Twins game last week?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was
in that
helping.
case, I work too.
Maybe you could let me finish.
You're helping.
You know what I mean?
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Let me finish.
My mom texted me, said, Twins won. Tom should be in a good mood. Go Twins. That's what she wrote to me this morning.
That was a hell of a game. Did you watch the game last night?
Only a little bit.
Why?
Just as I was doing schoolwork.
Oh, here we go. So in other words, what were you just watching? That Doja Cat? You were watching that, weren't you?
I watched that. Made time for that.
I knew it. There's a shock.
No, that wasn't last time. Tell me what happened with
that wasn't last night. She doesn't even deny she was watching. She goes, oh, that wasn't last night, though. What now? What?
Tell me about the Twins game.
The Twins game was phenomenal. There's no question about it. The Twins led the entire game. I watch it with Kathryn, actually. Kathryn and I watch a game together, which I love watching sports with. She's a big Twins fan. Listen to that music, baby. I got my Twins hat on. That was a huge win. They could not lose that game. They lose that game, they're done.
No,
right?
They accomplished exactly what you want to as a road team. We just need to go in there, hostile environment. We got to get one. We pack it up. We come home, and now we can close it out in the friendly confines of Target Field.
I got a question for you. Did you ever play baseball?
No.
Did you?
Yeah. That strikes me. I would have thought you definitely would have, Tevin.
Nope, I was a track guy.
I see.
Track. So you sit on your ass and do nothing?
It helped with football.
So I suppose that's true. Yeah, track would help with football. No, I mean, I just watching that game last night was absolutely amazing. Like I said, I watched it with Kathryn. Everybody did their job, played great defense. Well, a couple of them weren't so great, but there were a couple of moments there was like, what are you doing? But the Twins blew them. What was the final score? 5-0?
5-2.
Well, that's right, 5-2 because a 2-run homer.
Yep.
See, I even forgot about that because it just wasn't a factor.
Didn't even come into play.
Didn't even come into play. Nobody cares about that. No, it was great. Well, Kathryn and I watched the first game. Twins almost came back in that one. Got back to 5-4, and then of course they hit another home run, made it 6-4, and that was that. But it was an absolute must-win for the Twins yesterday, and they just came out and just kicked the piss out of Houston.
That's awesome.
It was just great. It was one. I had a really, really nice weekend, got to be honest with you, because we went down. My niece got married in Red Wing, Minnesota over the weekend.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. And Landon, her son, it was a great, he's about to turn 15 in November. Landon's a great kid. He's turning 15 in a couple of weeks. And he just kept telling me how everybody he knows, they listen to your show all the time. They think it's like not even real that I'm related to you. That was very sweet.
That is really cool.
I said, Landon, you have to remember when you were a little kid, like 2.5, maybe 3 years old, he would walk over to Kathryn and touch her phone and go, fun games? Fun games?
Oh, I bet. I had a crab game on my phone, and my nephews would come up and go, crab?
Yeah,
crab?
Right, exactly.
Crab, very desperate.
No, they were telling you were crabby in it.
Yeah. Or I had crabs. Yeah, either one.
Well, for Christ's sake.
We talk about this stuff just in our family to be a cautionary tale.
My crotch is rotting out. Let's talk about that at the dinner table. That'd be great.
This is why you don't be like Auntie.
Don't be like Auntie. Exactly. No, it was a great weekend, actually, because, Twins take 1 out of 2, which was wonderful. I will tell you one thing, though. The wedding was on the banks of the Mississippi down there in Red Wing. Mm-hmm. By the way, one of my favorite, I've talked about this a million times before, one of my favorite places to go. I love Red Wing. Love that place. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we're standing there on the shores of the Mississippi. And the way the Mississippi was shaped, that wind was coming right down the river tunnel, baby.
Yeah.
It was freezing.
Ooh.
Oh, God, was it cold.
Outside wedding?
It was an outside wedding.
So, this summer and fall, I've DJed like 70 weddings and stuff like that.
Oh, you did?
You'll get some where like it's either so hot or like you're saying, so windy and cold this time of year, but like the bride is like, nope, I've dreamed about having this outdoor
wedding we're gonna have.
You guys, and you'll see everybody because they'll obviously have an indoor part, and so all the guests will be like inside in the wedding, and they'll be like, okay, it's gonna start at 4, and then at 3:59, you just see a rush of people come down, sit down, we all say I do, and then everybody runs back inside. It's great.
You know what's funny about that? Kathryn and I literally did the research. We wanted to get married on average, the nicest day of the year, and it was July 7th.
Oh.
So we went July 7th. It was gorgeous, beautiful day. So do a little research. You want to if you want to get married in the fall, that's your business. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But my God, it was colder than a witch's tit, as J.D. Salinger would say.
Do people have blankets or anything, or no?
Oh, some people did. They did. Indeed.
I always have like emergency blankets in my car, and I will pull those out so quick.
But I got to tell you something. It was rather interesting because, like I said, I love Red Wing, that whole area. We walked up Barn Bluff. And by the way, don't ever do what I did.
What'd you do?
This is a huge mistake. You ever seen Barn Bluff in Red Wing?
No.
It's a great walk. It's straight up the hills. You get to the top. And then you go over, both sides. Once you're up on top of the hill, it's kind of a mini mountain more than a hill, actually, because it goes straight up. It's one of those deals. So it's not a mountain, but it's kind of a mini mountain. It's not really a hill,
I feel like you're just trying to like elevate the athletic feat that you accomplished.
No. I'm going to elevate one thing about the walk, though, I will tell you. So we get up and they say, well, why don't we go and have some breakfast and then go from there, see what we'll do after that. So I go to breakfast and I have a, pretty sizable breakfast and, nice. Actually, it wasn't even breakfast. I had a bunch of chicken wings.
That's legit.
That's a little breakfast of champions.
Yeah, brunch actually.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We had leftovers from Revival, so I had chicken wings for breakfast as well.
There you go. Big mistake, however, eating a bunch of chicken wings, and then they went right to Barn Bluff. It's like, we're going to go now?
Yeah.
We just ate. Now, it's not that it's a torturous walk, but it is straight uphill for about a half hour, I suppose, 20 minutes.
What?
It's straight uphill. I almost vomited. Honest to God, it wasn't that effective. Honestly, I was like,
Jesus Christ,
like,
Tom.
why did we eat and then go up a hill, a huge hill?
And Kathryn was like, what? I feel nothing. That boop, bop, boop. My legs are 12 feet long.
Sage was the one. He ran all the way up because Vaughn ran all the way up when she was 3. So he had to do it too.
Kids are insane.
But yes, if you've never been to Red Wing, you need to go up Barn Bluff because it's really cool. It's a beautiful spot anyway. And the views from up there, holy Christ, the entire Mississippi River Valley, just amazing. And I stopped counting at 14 people who recognized me on the street in Red Wing. That never happened. I get recognized here a few times a week, but not 14 people in the same day. It was really interesting. A lot of big listeners down there. Unfortunately, about 3/4 of them had no idea the show was even on.
No.
So we're going to find out a way to tell people the show actually is on. That'd be good.
Did you tell them?
Yeah. No, I kept it a secret.
Did you put it on their phone?
No, I don't do that. I don't touch other people's stuff.
You do that?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, other
not.
people do, yeah.
What?
I do it all the time. People go, I don't know how to do the app. And if they're like older and they're looking at their phone confused, I'll go, do you want me to just put it on there? I did it when we did the sponsored dinner at Park and Tavern.
I guess that's different. Yeah.
But like I'm always taking my mom's phone and doing stuff. So I'm always like, do you want me to do it for you? And they're like, yes. And they're so excited to hand me their phones for me to do it.
That's like half my responsibility when I work the state fair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like the past 3 or 4 years, I've been doing the Garage Logic booth there, and their audience, they have some older people. But yeah, like it's either I'm selling t-shirts or it's let me walk you through step by step on how to listen to their show.
It's so much easier if they just give me their phone than if I try to talk them through it.
God, yeah.
Well, you just like need a QR code or something and be like,
oh yeah, that's what they need, a QR code.
You just scan it with your phone. That would be so much easier.
You have a young mom, that's why you're saying stupid things.
It's so cute that that you think that everyone knows what a QR code
I
is.
have faith in the listeners. Sorry.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I saw that you went to Hanish Bakery.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, they posted a photo.
That's nice.
You were with that local DJ. How did you guys run into each other?
I was walking by. Well, first of all, we went in, but we were on the other side, so I didn't see that they were doing a radio show there because there's 2 separate rooms, and we were on the other side, so I didn't even know they were doing a radio show. I suppose if I paid attention, I would have. But so we finished breakfast, and I went outside, and there was a Cub Scout selling popcorn. So I cannot walk by that without buying something. I can't do it.
You're what we like to call a mark.
I'm a mark. There's no question.
But it's at least for a good cause.
$65.
Okay, not that good.
That's a lot of popcorn.
Put the money back.
I'm not making this up, and it is not a lie. I'm not making this up. The cheese corn was the best I have ever had in my entire life.
Dang.
Delicious.
Wow.
Really, really good. So I had a little bit of that. But yeah, so I went outside. I was talking to the Cub Scout and his mother, and it was very, very nice. And I turned around and I was walking back in front of the bakery again, and I look up at a guy going, "Tommy B," pointing at me, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to just say hello. That was the first time I was recognized. So we took some pictures together.
With Bill?
Talking about, yeah.
Yeah, the bakery owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him
guy.
from he comes to events all the time. Yeah, he's lovely. Bill Hainish. Yeah, he's and his bakery's amazing.
Oh, it's really good. The food there is really, really good. Could not have been nicer. Legendary DJ is down there with. It was an interesting time, and thank you to everybody. I think they really do realize that, and I've talked over the years about how much I do love Red Wing, and maybe that draws them to listen or whatever. But I do. They kept the original structure of the town. They didn't tear, like in Minneapolis, they tore down all the old red brick buildings.
Yeah.
So you can develop these ugly ass buildings like that. What's the one right there? Is it on 4th and Hennepin? It's got the long white posts.
Oh, yep. I know what you're talking about. It's like right across from the
hideous.
library. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That building's hideous. Let's get some brick buildings going. Let's go, baby.
Mackey's smiling so big that makes me worried he lives there.
Well, I thought he was going to say, what's that building off like Chicago and Fifth? That's like big. It's a glass. It looks like a. It's U.S. Bank Stadium. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
really, really ugly building.
Yeah, birds used to fly into it and die. Every Sunday.
It's true.
Very tragic.
No, we'll get to that in a second because the interior of that stadium is the nicest I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
The exterior of that stadium is the ugliest building I've ever seen in my life. It's hideous.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they did that necessarily, but we're going to talk about your horseshit teams in a second here.
Wait, teams? We got maybe one. We got maybe one horseshit team, but we have another team. We have another team that's absolutely not.
What about this? Oh, you have two that are absolutely horseshit, and they both play football.
Yeah, that's true. I went to the Gophers game expecting at least a fight on Saturday, but
so I would have asked for a refund on my tickets, even if I didn't pay. I feel like I need to get some money back for my time spent.
And so I was watching game one of the Twins on Saturday, and then we did a little post game show on the Score North YouTube channel. So I made a beeline in like the middle of the second quarter, and I wasn't paying any attention. I'm just like, let's get over there. I got friends, got my wife over there, right? A flood of students are coming out of the stadium in the middle of the second quarter, and I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah, we're down by like 5 touchdowns already. So I think you can probably just turn around and go to Stubborn Herbs or something.
Stubborn Herbs. There you go. I like that. Is Stubborn Herbs still around?
Oh, yeah. Thriving. Yeah. Especially on a game day.
I never got drunk there. What are you talking about?
Well, we might need to if you want to go to a Gophers game. You're going to need at least like a 3.5 beer buzz to watch them. But I'm going to say something crazy here that we haven't been able to say in decades. The Twins can win the World Series, you guys.
They could. After
the Twins can win the World Series.
Let's go. I believe.
You know what I really liked about that? Even though they lost the first game, they didn't just lay back and give up. They fought back. And almost got in a position where they could win the game. Didn't work. They lost that first game 6-4. They got back to 5-4 though before that last home run. So you go, hey, we got to win 1 out of 2. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a little nervous before the game, if you know what I'm saying. But they came in and just dominated. And I tell you what, we have a little pitching last night. Any pitching going on?
That guy, Pablo Lopez. So, when they made the trade, because Luis Arias was a fan favorite. They marketed him. He was lovable, batting title guy. And I think at the time, the thought was, are we sure about this? You're going to trade one of the best hitters in baseball? But they clearly were trading from a place of, because they trade Arias, they bring in Julian. And Julian is one of the best hitters on the team playing the same position. And they wind up getting, I would say, the best starting pitcher they've had since Johan Santana.
I would agree. 100%. He dominated the Astros. No doubt. It was so much fun to watch that whole situation. The whole team played together really, really well. Didn't make a whole lot of really stupid mistakes. And by the way, get a little credit to some Houston play. That shortstop, that play that he made, where he was literally stretched straight out and still had to reach. That was one of the best plays from shortstop I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then, so the Astros are sitting here now. I just saw an article from, is it the Houston Chronicle, I think. It was one of the newspapers down there. Mm-hmm. And they're looking at Carlos Correa. The headline was the Carlos Correa that the Astros, put on their shoulders as this postseason hero. Now they have to figure out how to deal with him and come back in this series. So I saw a number last night. Carlos Correa, who, by the way, perfect timing. I'm not like a foot doctor, but so he had the plantar fasciitis issue for the whole season, right?
Yep.
Apparently, when it tears fully, it hurts like hell for 2 days, but then you're fine.
Oh,
that happened like 2 weeks ago. So he's healthy for the first time all year. We're seeing the peak version of one of the best postseason performers of at least my lifetime. And they flashed a graphic last night on the Fox Sports 1 broadcast that Carlos Correa, after last night, now has more postseason RBIs than Derek Jeter and David Ortiz.
I saw that.
And the Twins just have him sitting in the middle of their lineup right now, playing shortstop. He's incredible, and this is where he comes out to shine the brightest. So, it's weird. Like, we went 20 years and couldn't get a playoff win, and now it's like, what do we do with all these playoff wins? Got 3 in the last week. We didn't even know what to do with ourselves here. It's great.
I'm going to go to the game tomorrow, and the one thing I've already set up, I'm going to go down to the Astros locker room, and where's Alvarez? I'm going to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Is that guy big enough, for Christ's sake?
He's
absurd.
He's
7 feet tall.
Yeah, what was I think Thielbar, I'm pretty sure Thielbar, this is game 1, had not allowed a home run to a left-handed hitter or something. Did he hit it off Thielbar? I think he hit it off Thielbar.
I think so, yeah.
And so Thielbar's like, I can just throw whatever pitches I want to. No lefty hits a home run off me. Not that guy. That guy's dangerous. So stay away from him at Target Field here.
Well, he makes the umpire and catchers, of course, kneeling down. He makes them look like little children.
I know. He's a monster, man.
He is, and he did hit that home run a little ways.
Yes.
I would say that.
Yeah, he had. Don't park on 7th by a meter at Target Field. Yordan Alvarez will find your car. Yes.
You know what's so great about this, Phil, is I had that thought coming in that the Twins actually could get this done. I know it's very early. There's no question about that. But that game yesterday, well, first of all, I understand Toronto's not very good, but to sweep anybody is a big deal. No question. And then you come in, Houston won the World Series last year, did they not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now you're going up against a team that maybe wants to do back-to-back here. And they're a tough shot in that first game. They were up, 5-0 at one point.
How did you feel when Jose Altuve hit a home run like 700 feet on the first pitch of the series? By the way, here we go. Twins are back. Let's do this. Bailey over. Just bam off the train.
It was unbelievable. That's why I got to be honest with you. Look, I almost just said something was a flat out lie because I usually am, but I'm not right now. I almost said, I'm a Viking fan. Not right now. I'm not. That team sucks.
Yeah, they are. They can move the ball, but then when this is the best part too. So they had an historic amount of fumbles in the first. What they played 5 games. So the first 4 games, no team has ever lost as many fumbles as the Vikings. It's been a point of emphasis. All right, guys. So we thought we had this cleaned up after the first 3 games. Now we really have it cleaned up. We're walking around the practice facility. Everyone's holding a football. Coaches got broomsticks trying to. You're at the lunch table with a football. Ball security all week long. First play of the game.
Yeah.
First play of the game. And we get a fumble.
And
just embarrassing.
This team is depressing. And as a lifelong, diehard, cry, blood, sweat, tears, all that Vikings fan, it's over.
Team's
blow it
terrible.
Out.
Team's terrible.
And Justin Jefferson, if his hamstring, which hamstring injuries usually linger quite a long time, it's not like he's going to come back. So if he doesn't play next week, probably could lose to the Bears. Like Justin Fields has been tearing it up. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes in each of his last 2 games. Yeah. Then we got the 49ers. Not going to win that game, even if we play with 12 people on the field.
You got that.
And so it's going to be, we're looking at possibly 1-6. And at that point, sit everybody.
And here's the thing. So the Bears, I think everyone's been looking at that game. Well, as you're doing the math on, can the Vikings get to this record? Everyone's just kind of giving them a win against the Bears. So here's the thing. To your point, their offense is coming alive. They get 3 extra days off because they played on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And I would say the figurehead legend in terms of players of that franchise just passed away in Dick Butkus.
Yes.
They're going to do like a big tribute to Dick Butkus on Sunday. No, they're going to try and win one for Dick Butkus. Right? You're not beating the Bears on Dick Butkus tribute day.
No.
And then you get the 49ers are an automatic loss. And then there's this is the other thing. So then you get the Packers. I think it's a road game at Lambeau. And like, okay, that's a manageable game, right? Isn't there some crazy stat the last 2 years where teams that play the 49ers always lose the next week because they're so battered and bruised from the game against the 49ers? Yep. So they're probably losing their next 3 games is my point here.
Very nice record.
So yeah, that puts us 1-7.
1-7.
And then we call the Jets and trade Kirk Cousins and hopefully get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, trade Danielle Hunter, get some draft capital.
It's time, isn't it?
All the while the Vikings are losing those games, though. The Twins are moving out of the ALCS, and the Twins are hosting the ALCS because the Texas Rangers hopefully knock off the Orioles.
Yeah.
Well, home field advantage in the ALCS, and then I don't know what that stadium is going to be like on October 27th for a World Series game. Probably 15 degrees and snowing, but let's test drive it. Let's test drive it.
God, what's that going to be? Oh, man, it's going to be cold. There's no doubt about that.
Good news is they winterproofed it a couple of years ago for the Stadium Series game for the Wild. So they got the heaters.
We have heating coils. Yeah, we're
good.
Exactly.
There you go. So, yeah, it was quite the sports weekend, except for your Minnesota Twins, ladies and gentlemen, who were phenomenal.
Yeah, as always. Never a doubt about the Twins in the postseason. Not on this show.
Well, you got that right.
Burn all recordings, AJ.
That is 100% right on the money. I love the Twins, always have loved the Twins. Look, I've been a Viking fan. I've been a Gopher fan. I never got into the NBA in this town. I went to a few Timberwolves games like, this is boring.
Hey, the Wolves went 2-0 in 2 preseason games in Abu Dhabi this weekend, so don't sleep on the Timberwolves.
Anybody blow them up?
No, I don't think they avoid. I think they avoided explosives in Abu Dhabi.
They stay in the nice part of town.
Can you avoid explosives over in that shithole part of the world?
I don't know. We can. We'll talk to Jim Peterson about it and see.
I love Jim Peterson. He's a great guy. You know Jim?
I drank with Jim a couple weeks ago at the Gopher game, so we were good friend. He's a good guy.
You're about the same height, aren't you?
Exactly the same height. If you stack 3/4 of me on top of me, yes. Same height.
Yeah, Jim's a great guy. Once in a while, I run into a bunch of Gophers, different, basketball, football, all the rest of it. Most of them are really, really nice people. No question about that.
Yeah, agreed.
So we come home. We got to win that big game tomorrow because I will be at the game and I will not put up with a loss or I will storm the field.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm going to be there as well. And I think I haven't gotten a ticket yet, so I think I'm just going to get a ticket on StubHub alone. I don't think I have to be alone, I think, to watch these games. I don't
blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I get too irrational, spastic. I'll just be in the corner by the foul pole alone, clutching a drink.
Oh, Judd loves the fact that when the first time that Mike Gelfand ever interviewed me, like 40 years ago, he came to he was working for, what the hell is the name of that big magazine? It was doesn't matter. He was writing for a magazine based out of Los Angeles. And he came to my house to interview me. And I was watching the Twins game. And I said, you're going to have to put up with this because it's just how things go. I had about 15 bobbleheads set up, a la Judd. And I would bobble their head whenever they were up at the plate. We won the game. That's all I did.
Yeah, you definitely did that.
It's my deal all the way.
Not creepy at all whatsoever when you dim the lights and lit candles in front of the bobblehead.
All right, I know you got to bust your ass in other areas. What do you got? You want to close with something good? You got any good news for us?
I've got some shameless self-promotion here. We're basically daily on the Score North Twin Show now. So Apple, Spotify, scorenorth.com to find our daily sometimes Twins panicking, sometimes Twins celebration. It's very manic this time of year. And that show just hit top 10 on the Apple National Baseball Podcast charts a couple days ago.
Hey,
so not because we're talented, because the Twins are interesting and fans want a place to congregate. So we're pumped about it. The Score North Twin Show, folks. Check it out.
I like it. We will absolutely do that. No question about it. And we will talk to you on Friday.
All right, friends. See ya.
Thanks a lot. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen, Score North. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Bunch of stuff coming up this morning. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine 5.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:28, now 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Checking the weather quickly today, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler than average with a high of 56. About 10 to 20 mile an hour wind, too, so it'll feel a little colder than that, too. Tonight, clear skies, patchy fog, and areas of light frost. What the hell?
And nipping at your toes.
Light frost by Tuesday morning, 35 degrees for the low tonight. Holy God. Sunny and cool on Tuesday, 56. Tuesday night, 38 degrees. Light frost by Wednesday morning again. So Tuesday and Wednesday morning, some light frost. Well, matter of fact, it looks like light frost every day now. That's what it looks like anyway. So, yeah, we'll just go through Tuesday night, 38 degrees overnight with light frost again Wednesday. So today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and into the future, it's going to be frosty. There's no question. Sunny, and right now it's 39 degrees, sunny and 39, but 56 later on today. But there's going to be a breeze, so it's not going to be all that great one way or the other. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Eggert now with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
What happened, man?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Magnificent. The team I wanted to win won.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the Twins because everyone else pretty much let us down this weekend, right?
They suck. Not only let us down, they're horrible.
Listen, I heard my mom. Yeah. I heard my mom swear at the TV during the game last night. Like, it made me blush, and I cursed like a sailor. I was like, "Oh my God, Mom!"
I love that. I love your mom, and I've never even met her.
Oh, it was that was a frustrating game. My goodness.
That's so great. I'm not watching this crap.
Oh, it was beep, 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 beep. I saw some guy on Twitter was mad because he threw his hat across the room and it broke his TV.
Oh. No. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. No question about it. But your Minnesota Twins, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. No tickets, by the way. I don't think there's any tickets available for games 3 and 4, it sounds like. So
Yeah, that's very
you
true.
probably find some on a third-party site, but and pay a whole bunch of money for it. But are you going to go, Tom?
I'm going tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
We're going with a bunch of friends and
Nice.
hang out at the game. 3:07 start tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
How
that's
about the rest of you? Is anybody else going?
No. I asked Tom if I was his friend that he was going with. He said, I am not.
Then I also got that memo, but we were going to still try and probably sneak into the stadium somehow.
Yeah.
They both reached out and I said, What game? I don't even know what you're talking
A
about.
new phone. Who dis?
I don't even like baseball.
I don't like baseball. What?
They still playing?
We're sorry. The number you've tried to reach is no longer in service.
Exactly. Now looking forward. You know what, though? The reason I'm going is because Kathryn is a huge Twins fan.
Yeah.
She loves the Twins. Which, she wanted to go. I said, I suppose if you want me to go to the Twins game, I'll go with you.
It's nice to see people happy and excited about a team around here, right? Like we don't get that all that often. So I think it's super cool to see, like, all over the community, people are just like, it's nice. It's very nice.
And you hear, because like a lot of sports teams, especially like the Timberwolves, when they're not necessarily doing great, though, you always hear them go like, well, if the fans gave us a little bit more support, we could blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, look at what happened with the Twins. Like, they were not that great during the regular season all the time, and people came down on them. And now in the playoffs, you're seeing support like is just crazy. The city's is completely alive for it. So if you're on a sports team, be good, and then you will get support.
I like that.
It's that easy.
I mean, I think that's a great point, Tevin, because you do hear that a lot. But I think this community wants to support the teams. They'd like to see winners, right? Like we were at the Gophers game Saturday night. I haven't seen that stadium that full in years. Like, it was a packed house. A lot of Michigan people were there, but it was a packed house. People wanted to be there for them, but they just Ghosts got the living crap kicked out of them on Saturday.
What? There was only 42 points difference. What's it? So what?
And then they're like, well, Minnesota scored 10 points against Michigan. That's the most anybody's scored all year. I'm like,
that's such a low bar.
Okay.
Throw a parade on University.
Yeah. So, I mean, people want to get behind it, and it's too bad. But we've got the Twins right now, so that's cool.
How do you pay that fraud $42 million? The guy's never won a big game in his life. Where does he get $42 million? You're
talking about PJ?
Yeah. He's terrible.
I think, well, you'll get two trains of thought on that from people. Okay. There are a lot of people who think he's propelled the program in a lot more energy. He's got the kids excited. He knows how to speak the language of the kids he's recruiting. But then you got the other hand going, well, where's the wins at, And he's made some mistakes in big moments in the games where he's admitted them being coaching mistakes. But then I think after the Northwestern game, he came out and was talking about how there's no NIL money for the Gophers players and how they just can't compete because they can't bring the kids here because they can't pay them enough. So
nice excuse.
Why can't
they pay him enough?
What's that?
Why can't they pay him enough?
Well, my answer to that would be I don't suppose people who would be supporting the program with their dollars are willing to support a program that's mediocre.
That's exactly my argument, because Minnesota is one of the richest states in America. It's not that they don't have any money. PJ, you're not a winner. You've never won a big game in your life, I don't think. Has he?
I mean, he's.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, didn't they win? Yeah, a couple years ago they won a big bowl game.
Did they?
It was 2 years ago.
Bowl?
What's that?
The Outback Bowl?
No, it wasn't. It was a legitimate. Who they beat? Like
by Outback Steakhouse.
Duke Mayo Pinstripe Bowl of America.
It was
quickly.
I mean,
the quick lane.
No, but Chris, they did have a season where they won. It was like they won 10 games or something.
Yeah, maybe beat Wisconsin that year, and then I think they had a decent bowl game that they. I mean, but
the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yep, that was last year.
It wasn't last year's game.
No, it was like
pinstripe.
Was it LSU? I don't know. It was a team of national prominence who they beat. I don't know.
Oh, in 1962, the Rose Bowl.
There you
That's
go.
what you're
That's what it
talking
was.
about.
There it is.
Yep,
That's
there you
PJ's
go.
best game.
Good job.
He was really good in that game.
That being maybe alive.
No, he definitely wasn't alive.
Definitely.
So the ones that he's done in Minnesota, 2018 was the Quick Lane Bowl, then it was the Outback Bowl in 2020, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in 2021, and the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl in
Who they beat?
And he's
Who they beat in the Outback Bowl.
The Outback Bowl?
Yeah.
I think the Outback Bowl is their biggest bowl win.
I think so too.
But my thing with PJ is he's a very good recruiter and a average to below average actual like X's and O's football coach. Like he makes a lot of time management mistakes during the games. He has this weird infatuation with always running the ball, even though when he was brought here, he's such a great, because he got a wide receiver from Western Michigan or wherever he came from to the NFL. So it was going to be like, oh, he's going to revolutionize the passing game and blah, 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 blah. And that didn't happen. So it's like he almost needs to be like a general manager and hire somebody that can actually coach your football team.
I agree with Brittany that Murray Warmath's the only way to go.
Yep. And that's how I feel.
And by the way, for people under 100, he was the coach that won the last national championship.
I assumed so. Bring back Murray. I've been saying that for years.
Bring back Murray Warmath right now, damn it. Oh, God, it's unbelievable. So, yeah, it's I tried to watch the Gopher game, tried to watch the Viking game. I lasted about 5 minutes on both. It's like, first of all, you fumbled the first play of the game.
It's so frustrating.
They're such an unserious football team.
Absolutely.
It's a clown show.
It is.
The KJ Osborne ducked in the end zone when the ball was thrown at him rather than catching the football.
I can relate to that. That's how I would do. If somebody was throwing me as fast as those balls, that's how I would react.
He turned around and he got scared and ducked his head because he didn't want to get hit. Like, no, KJ, that brown thing flying at you, you're supposed to catch that, and then we can win the game.
You see those fancy gloves that they bought you?
Yeah, so you put your hands up and you grab it, and then we score.
And Hawkinson has not had a good year at all, and they just gave him like the largest contract any end has ever received in the NFL, right? I mean, it's just like all that luck the Vikings had last year winning all those games that we should have probably lost. It's gone completely it's gone the other way this year.
It definitely has. And I understand there's an ebb and flow, but thank God this is his last year with it. Hey, he sucks. He's got all the talent in the world, but he doesn't know how to use it apparently. He's got talent, but he's not any good.
Talking about Kirk, right?
Kirk Cousins,
yeah, definitely. I think it's his last year.
Oh, it's gotta be.
There's no way we'll re-sign him.
But he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Dad.
He's good. He's just not good enough to elevate the poor talent that's around him.
He makes bad decisions too.
Most on the yeah, that's true.
He does make bad decisions. I don't know.
Also, he's got a weird body. I just want to throw that out there.
He's very thin.
How so? I'm curious to hear this.
Because like I want him to be hot because like in theory he does like hot things, but is like always somehow he's got like a barrel chest and then like a lanky body. I don't know what's happening.
Are you talking about like have you seen a picture of him shirtless, or are you just talking about in his uniform?
Both. When he was in doing that documentary, he was like in the cold pool, and I was like, why in theory you should be hot, and your body's weird.
Do you think that all professional athletes are like chiseled Greek gods?
No, but like all the training and everything he does, I would think that he's got a hot body, and then his body's just weird. Sorry.
No, and I agree with her.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the help.
I sat next to him having lunch down in Florida last year, and he is skinny as hell.
And I love skinny, but his body's weird. It's just, yeah.
It is. I agree.
Thanks, Tom.
Chris, your thoughts on Kirk Cousins' body?
Right.
Being weird. Is it weird?
Defend Kirk Cousins.
I actually don't have an opinion on Kirk Cousins' body. How's that?
How
about Brittany's? Do you have an opinion on her body?
I'm Switzerland on all body types right now.
Switzerland.
I have a weird body. I'm fine with it. But like, I wouldn't be, if Kirk talked about my body and said it was weird, I'd go, yep. I'm fine with it.
Can we get Kirk on the show and have him just talk about Brittany's body for an hour?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Kirk,
I would love that.
Call in.
Yeah.
And you suck, by the way. While you're calling in, I'd like to remind you, you suck.
You can comment on my Kirk. What's your comment on Brittany's body? Yes, done.
Indeed. All right. So what else? Anything else?
Powerball's giant. Buy one tonight. Everything else in the news is awful. How's that?
You know, Chris, I don't know, and I'm being very serious right here. I don't know some days how you people do your job. You sit there and look at it and go, this is the news? There's nothing good here.
I mean, listen, there were some things that were of less significance.
Yeah.
Today's the first Indigenous Peoples Day in the state of Minnesota, which, celebrated by, Indigenous communities. But I don't know. You can't watch all that stuff that's going on in Israel right now and not. I mean, it's tough to watch, and it's tough to see people taken hostage and bodies dragged through the streets, and it's not a good situation, that's for sure.
Oh, we're going to mention that later on in the show, because last week I said something about that area, and everyone on the show turned on me. It is the most racist shithole on earth, Africa, and you go across the land bridge to that whole area over there. These people hate one another and have for thousands of years.
Well, I think that's we had a conversation with our son about it, who's 18 or 18 and a half, and we were talking about it yesterday watching the news and kind of trying to explain it. But then you go back, like, it's really a holy war. Like, this stuff goes back,
absolutely,
to the beginning of time.
But you have to understand, in the same area there, you had the Hutus and the Tutsis who were killing each other, both African tribes, right? Why were they killing each other? This is the truth. I'm not making this up, by the way. This is a true story.
The Hutus and the Tutsis?
The Hutus and the Tutsis.
The cows? I don't know.
Two tribes. There are two tribes in Africa.
I just want to be clear. Are those is that the actual names?
Or the Hutus and the Tutsis? Right, absolutely.
Okay, because you had me in the first one, and then I heard Tutsis.
You heard Tutsi. Yeah,
I was like, I don't know if this is real.
I will tell you right now, and you can look this up and tell me if I'm lying. The Hutus.
I'm so uneducated on stuff, so I'm just going through the world blind.
Okay.
Anyways,
I forgot what I was going to say now.
When you look this up.
Oh yeah, you have to look this up to prove that I'm telling the absolute truth. The Hutus and the Tutsis killed each other because they didn't like the shape of each other's noses.
I have heard that before.
It's a true story. These racist pricks attacked each other because of the shape of their nose. So give me the stuff that America sucks.
It's a good thing Brittany's not going to go to war with Kirk Cousins over the shape of his body.
Right.
The shape of his body. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of songs like that.
The shape of his body.
I'll go to war for somebody's body.
Well, that was weird. All right, I'm going to take off. If you want to root for the Packers and you want to switch from the Vikings, they're on tonight on Channel 5, by the way, Monday Night Football. So there you go.
Nope, go Raiders.
Yeah, no, not happening. It's true.
Not switching teams. I couldn't do it.
How are the Packers this year?
Not good.
No, they're okay.
They're better than us, probably, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there's also 31 other teams in the NFL that are also better.
Well, he's not lying, is he?
Nope.
He ain't lying, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Pally, another brilliant report, I thought.
Yeah, all right. We'll talk. What's that?
Do something about that nose before you come in, because I'll have to kill you.
I actually have a thing on here. I should probably get checked out, but we'll talk about that later.
We will do. Oh, by the way, in closing, so I'm watching the game yesterday, but I only watched about half of the first quarter. I went, I can't watch this. They go to the sidelines. There's a guy on the sidelines.
Oh no,
that would be me.
That thing must have been like that high.
That would be me though, because like they're outside in cold weather, and the first time in the cold weather, you got to clear out your nose. You'd be panicking because like you're like doing exercise.
It's an indoor stadium.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Sorry. I just mean as things get colder, I get that like congestion.
What's that got to do with being indoors?
Oh, sorry. I thought they were outdoors. I didn't watch the game.
No. Vikings game indoor.
My bad. I didn't know.
Okay.
You don't know where the U.S. Bank Stadium.
I forgot it was at U.S.
You
Bank.
pick your nose a lot when it's cold?
Yeah. My God. Don't dig so deep when you're picking your nose. You've destroyed your brain.
My brain cells. Don't you guys ever get like the first couple of days of like when it gets cold, your nose gets all stuffed up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
No doubt about that.
That's a good thing about the frost, though, that it's going to kill all the ragweed and the allergies will be better. Yeah. So we do have that going for us.
Yeah. It's
maybe those god-awful box elder bugs.
Oh, God, they were all over the place down in Red Wing, man. Oh, by the way, I should mention to you, you have a lot of fans in Red Wing.
I saw you. Did you meet with Bill Hansich from the bakery? Yeah, I think I saw it on Facebook. He's a cool dude.
I was walking by, and all of a sudden I see this guy pointing at me through the window, going, "Tommy B." I'm like, man.
Yeah, Bill, you should bring us some freaking donuts and cookies and cupcakes one of these days. Yeah, Bill.
I'm trying to promote the show, and she's begging for cookies.
Begging for cookies is
right
my screen name.
Their food there, by the way, is really good.
I know.
Their chow is really good.
Yeah,
I really like that place. Now, but we went to Red Wing for the weekend for my niece getting married, which was very, very nice. My family was there, and hadn't seen some of them in a while. But that town, honest to God, I ran into 14 people who said hello, came up and said hello to me.
Nice.
And I cannot tell you how much the ones that 3/4 of them didn't even know the show was on. So I got to still figure out a way to promote this show because most of the people have no idea it's even on. So I got to figure that out. I'll handle it. But could not have been the nicest things they said about everybody on this show. They were really great. The listeners, it was unbelievable.
Good.
Then they started railing on other stations. I went, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not on the radio anymore. I don't care. Right?
Isn't that fun to say that?
Well, it's true. I don't give a rat's ass what they do on the radio. I'm not in the radio. I don't care.
I could care less. Yeah, right.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. There's no question. But no, they were in every person. And I've said this many, many times. Red Wing's one of my favorite places in the world. I love that town. 16,000 people. And I believe I counted 12 church steeples.
Yeah.
Where the hell do all these people go into church? I mean, there are 12 churches in that town.
They need options, I guess.
Well, look, you're Protestant, but you're the wrong kind of Protestant.
Yeah, right.
Like, what?
Read this one line. Do you agree or disagree? Okay, you'll go to that church and you'll go to that church.
So thank you to everybody in Red Wing. You people are wonderful. Went to Liberty Cafe for breakfast for a couple of days. Just had a great time. I owe Kyle an apology because we were going to go to Smoke and Oak for lunch on the way home. Yeah. And then we got called home quicker, so I'm going to call him today. But yeah, if you've never been to Smoke and Oak down in Red Wing, one of the greatest barbecue places you'd ever want. Oh God, it's great.
I've listened to you talk about Smoke and Oak for years.
Smoke and Oak, baby.
Will you bring some in one of these days?
You're gonna get off your ass. It's a 1 hour drive, you big baby.
I'm about to make that drive. About noon.
That sounds amazing. I agree.
So Kyle, next time. I know you got to go, Pally, but thank you.
All right, you guys.
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
Good luck with your nose thing.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. No, very, very, very serious about that. People down there they're big fans of the show, the ones who listen. Some of them are going to listen now. It was just very, very pleasant to be in the town. Like I said, 16,000 people. They left all the original architecture alone. So you have these beautiful red brick buildings.
It's so gorgeous. It is gorgeous down there. It kind of has a Stillwater vibe.
Yeah, in a way. Yep.
With
smaller.
Yeah, smaller. Yeah, less condensed area because I feel like they have more to spread out. Yeah, my friend Clint lives down there, and his family owns Rydell Skate.
Oh yeah, I know right where that is.
Yeah.
Well, it's right on the main drag 61 there, isn't it?
Yeah, so he gets to go all over Europe because skates are huge there.
Sure.
Yeah, he's got a fun job.
No, but there are all these places. Like I said, you go up to. Remember when I went up to up north last summer and stayed up there for a week? The people up there, same thing. Just huge fans, just very nice people. And they all said the nicest things. They would bring up things like one of us did, and that was really nice of you guys to do that. And very nice people.
Cool.
It's how life should be.
It's how life should be.
And then at the end of every one of the talks, they go, yeah, just get away from me. You know.
We're done here.
We're done here. Let's wrap it up. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. So I suppose, oh God, we better take a break here. It's 8:50 already. That shot by quickly now, didn't it?
Sure did.
Certainly. You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You've heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Great news, the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets, they're back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. Set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That is a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all firearms-related products and is a preferred choice among trap enthusiasts and waterfowl hunters. And that's been for over 25 years, by the way. K&L is an authorized SKB shotgun dealer with a huge selection of youth models and has a huge selection of trap loads. Fall hunting is here. Head to K&L Surplus and stock up on waterfowl loads. K&L now has a lot of the calibers that have been hard, let's say hard to find in stock. He's got them. K&L Surplus and Ammo is a veteran-owned business, offers first responder and veteran discounts. Check this out. Mention this show, and receive a 10% off mark on anything in the store. Anything in the store, 10% off if you mention the Tom Barnard Show. K&L is also committed to safety and a licensed FFL retailer. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. Go to www.klgunstore.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Is Sandy ready to go? You actually showed up, Sansbury, you pill.
What are you talking about? I'm always there.
Oh, you sound good. You sound the best you've ever sounded. What the hell happened?
You said that Friday, too, so I sound better and better every day, huh?
Well, I mean, the signal does, not you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm happy. It's, it's good.
You sound very enthusiastic.
Oh, you got no idea.
Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Bob Sansevere. So, Sandy,
yes, sir.
A lot to talk about. One good and the rest of it's horrible.
Yes, your Twins going to the World Series.
That's what everyone thinks.
Well, you know what? Who would have thought it a few weeks ago? But
yeah,
Pablo Lopez. No one's saying now, oh, why do we get rid of Arias?
That's true.
I mean, he's been terrific. And, they win if they win tomorrow, and they should with Sonny Gray on the mound.
Yep.
Yes, it matters, but it doesn't matter about game 4 because Lopez can go game 5. And he is this guy is incredible how good he is. Got the right mindset for it.
Bob, I'm telling you, the way he moves those pitches around, it was a great game to watch yesterday. I had such a good – Kathryn and I watched the game together. Phenomenal.
And Carlos Correa, the guy can play even when they're not like using garbage cans.
Yeah.
He's again a big game player, big time player. Those are the two guys that'll be carrying this team along with Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis.
It's just, it's suddenly a fun team to be watching. And also, I think people really need to concentrate on the Twins because the Vikings are in the shitter. They're done.
Bob, I just can't take. I literally and I'm going to make the announcement now that you said this. This will be the first time that I will stop watching the Vikings. I can't watch that shit team. That team's terrible.
Yeah. And we have light, happy music for the Twins. We need some dark, sad music for the Vikings.
What is it? A dirge.
Yeah. A dirge. We need a dirge for the Vikings.
The problem is, and I am sick of these Kirk Cousins sycophants. Look at his numbers. Hey, they're 1-4. And again, you would think after he let 24 seconds fritter off the clock a week or two ago, that he would never let something like that happen again.
I know. 4th
down, he gets to delay a game.
I know.
You're trying to tie the score on the 4th down play. I actually thought, well, why not just kick it? So then you can score and you actually win the game if you get a score. But they went for it, fine. And then it is absolutely inexcusable to take a sack when you're trying to throw a Hail Mary.
Couldn't agree more.
That's not his fault. He's not blocking for himself.
No, it doesn't matter. You launch the ball and you take your chances. You got no shot when you're crumpled on the ground. You got to just unload it and hope for you hope, at least you have hope for those few seconds it's in the air. You get sacked, you got no hope, no chance.
Does he have any mobility? Because I never see him moving around. He moves a little bit.
His mobility is about a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Not good at all.
No, he's more of a statue. And our time management was weird in that game last night too. We were down to our last timeout with like 9 minutes left, or we were out of timeouts with 9 minutes left. Like I think it was because we called it on it was a 4th down for the Chiefs, and they're probably around midfield. And I remember they lined up, and I was like, oh, there's no way they're going to snap the ball. They're going to take a penalty and kick a punt it. And we called the timeout because we need to get our defense set. And then Kansas City came back out, took a penalty, and punted the ball. It was like we just wasted.
Yeah, you did
for nothing.
And O'Connell's not impressing me either. And now, I mean, I was saying for weeks, they'll be 2-5 after 7. Now they could be 1-6 because Justin Jefferson, that did not look like a guy who's going to come back next week. His hamstring injury. And do any of you know, was there a concert or something at the Metrodome since they last played there? Because a lot of guys were hurt.
There was, what was it? Kelsey got hurt.
He came back though. Jefferson,
did you even know that?
Yeah. I watched him get mad and sit on the thing, and then there was a bunch of memes with her being like, "You got this, baby," from a different movie. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
Oh God, you got this, baby.
Like there was a movie she was in where she was like a ditzy cheerleader. It was the role she played, so they just kind of mashed those up, and it went really well together.
Was that the Valentine's Day movie?
Yep.
One thing I can count on: my wife, Kathryn, will never say, "You got this, baby."
I know.
That is so weird. If that's
that
what
would
was
be,
her,
wouldn't it be weird?
You're about to get on. You're about to get on air, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do good on the show today. She's like, "Baby, you got this today."
I definitely am a "you got this, baby" kind of girl. Like, you got this, baby. I could see myself saying that.
Not only your wife, Tom. Did I tell you what Mary said to me? Because I've lost weight. I told you that, right?
Oh, good job, Sandy.
So, here's what she said to me. Because I think she's upset that people are saying, "Hey, you look great." She goes, "You're nothing but a bag of bones with flesh."
Damn.
And I said, now that's the nicest thing you've said to me in decades.
I got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, Mary and Kathryn are really good friends. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, similar vibe they're throwing out.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. But anyway, your Vikings are in there. It's
terrible.
You might as well just put up the flag and start stripping the team. Start trading guys. Jordan Addison is going to be fine. But even before the injury to Justin Jefferson, he only had 3 catches. I mean, they're double teaming him. They're giving safety help. However, every number 1 wide receiver gets double teamed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the ball to them. There are ways to get the ball to your top players when they're double teamed. You throw quick to them in the flat. You get them on a quick slant. But they didn't do that stuff. And I don't understand what this team is. Last year, they could make no mistakes. This year, they're making every mistake.
No, you're absolutely right. This team has not been good season. You give him some time because he just took over the team, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Well, it's just
who?
Was this the 3rd
Kevin
season?
O'Connell?
Second year.
Was only his 2nd year? God, seems like he's been around dragging us down forever.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, he's kind of Britney of football. Unbelievable.
I love that.
I can't watch him, Bob. I used to love the Vikings like there's no tomorrow. And I don't have that same feeling anymore. I am sick to death of watching that team suck my whole life.
You know what's unfortunate? Well, it's fortunate but unfortunate. If you drank, you could do the drinking game every time they fumble the ball, like on the first play.
Ooh,
drunk by the first drive.
What are you looking at? It'd be phenomenal. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely it would.
I think you got to watch the Bear game, if only to mock them if things go bad.
You know what's really funny about that, Bob, and you know this, I have some dear friends that used to be Vikings. Chuck Foreman is a wonderful guy. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And I won't say who it is, but there was one guy with that team. Well, there were more than one. There were a couple of guys that I couldn't even stand next to. So isn't that kind of weird how that I suppose that's any job or any place in life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people you can like and some you're not.
Well, especially a locker room, like an NFL locker room, we've got 53 to 80 guys, depending on practice squad and stuff. You're going to everybody. It's a real melting pot.
I think we're going to do that Michigan score again from yesterday.
Yeah, there's like 53 to 10. 52 to 10.
52 to 10. Don't give him that extra. They held him down. And PJ Fleck, after this, the best team I've played in 11 years is okay. Yes, you just get put up 52 points on you. You need to say something stupid like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like because Deion Sanders, like in a win, or no, was it? Yeah, they won, but it wasn't like up to his standards.
Right.
And so he was like, this is not we want to play much better, blah, 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 blah. And then you get like PJ after a loss where he's like, well, actually, you know what? This is a good day. We were pretty good. It's like, start holding your players accountable.
Like, just pick some like minute detail. Like, you know what we did really well? We hydrated very well this game. We drank a lot of water. Just get like hyper specific about something weird.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we need NIL money. We need the community to step up. And for what? If you got a great player, NIL money will come to that player. So recruit better.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Darn it.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, Bob. It's just I've been trying to follow these teams forever. The Twins won a couple of World Series, but what's that, 32 years ago now?
Well, but you know what? Right at the moment, the Twins are softening the blow from the Vikings because people are excited about them.
I am. I'm very excited about watching my Twins. There are a lot of people on that team with some really great attitudes toward how to win that game. And
it's a young, exciting team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And Lopez, I mean, the guy is he is locked in. He's everything you want in a big game pitcher because he explains the moment. It's not too big for him. He relishes the opportunity to get out in those situations, which is what you want. And I think Sonny Gray is somewhat similar to that as well.
I'll be honest with you too. If I look back, because I was trying to think back on because I it's going to be a bitch to get me to watch the Vikings ever again. I am so sick of them sucking every year. Every year they're horseshit.
Yeah.
And I used to be a huge Gopher basketball fan. Haven't watched one of their games now in about 35 years. They were great back in the Clem days. Yeah. Well, not great maybe, but they made the Final Four. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of Minnesota sports. I mean, how the hell can you never have won a hockey title in the state of hockey?
That's actually shocking.
You can't.
It is.
You can't call yourself, and I get it.
Nah,
high school hockey's huge.
AJ's upset.
That's a ridiculous statement. You're going to say.
This is not the state of hockey.
How is it not? Tell me how. Is it just because that they haven't won a Stanley Cup?
I get it.
They produce more NHL talent than any other state. They produce more high school talent than any other state.
Okay.
It's like
AJ.
10% the state of football, right?
AJ,
Cowboys haven't done anything in 50 years.
Okay.
AJ, settle down. Okay, it's the state of hockey except for the Wild.
What's the worst statement that anybody can say? Okay,
AJ, in hockey, the highest prize is to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Yeah, and if they were able to, if they were able to keep all of the Minnesota talent, they would win it every year.
But we don't win the highest. So we can't call ourselves the state of football because we haven't won a Super Bowl. No, we can't. I feel like you should have to win at the highest level in order to call yourself the state of hockey. The rest of the country is laughing.
Okay, so I guess it comes down to what is more enthralling. Is it the creator of a product or the consumer of a product? So, is Idaho eating a lot of potatoes? Are they making a lot of potatoes?
We are like the parents of.
How did you come up with that?
She's making that comparison. Hockey, potatoes.
Wax out of your ear.
I liked it more when Brittany didn't listen to the show.
Does it make sense? You guys don't get what I'm saying? Like Wisconsin, they make a lot of cheese. Are they consumers of the cheese? So what is more important, the creator of the thing or the consumer of the thing? And that's where I go with AJ. I actually think that that falls into who's the creating.
Right. But like with I guess with us, it's like, yes, we get a lot of people that come from here that play hockey and go to be professional, but that's like you having a kid that is now a professional athlete and going, yeah, I'm the greatest athlete ever. Like, whoa. Your kid.
Well, if I
is the
did,
one that accomplished everything.
I have a cousin who's in the Olympics, and I still tell everybody I am the greatest athlete ever. So I don't think that that's a disconnect for me.
Shock.
Thank you. I also say I'm the greatest broadcaster ever because I sit next to the GOAT.
Have you ever listened to yourself? Thank you very much. Great to
Hey,
hear.
no, I would never.
I would never do that. I don't do that either. I don't listen to myself.
Hell no.
I don't listen to themselves.
Anybody that likes to hear the sound of their
Yeah.
own voice, I think is a little off.
It actually ruins my day when I turn on the radio and like sometimes the app is running and it'll like start playing something from our show. I go, oh God, like I can't listen to
I
us.
know. I agree.
But I do like it on Tuesdays when I'm not on it, or I'll listen to the family because I'm not on it.
Okay, it's the same thing with watching.
Then you mean that's what you're saying?
I like it.
Yesterday, Jim Rich mentioned to somebody at Fox 9 that we had some damage at our farm, so they came out and did something about it from the storm. But okay, they do their open right on Fox 9, and they're talking. They start off with the stuff about Israel, and then there's this guy with a hat on, this looked craggy guy, and I'm saying, what's this guy got to offer on Israel? And then I realized that's me. We don't really recognize what we look like when we see photos of Craggy Bob.
What's
Craggy,
craggy guy
squinty,
gonna say?
Craggy, squinty Bob.
So,
I call it the Clint Eastwood squint because I do squint.
There you go.
Apparently.
There you
So,
go.
Bob, turn your camera on, Bob, and let us see the cragginess.
Oh no, you don't want to see that. I'm doing you a favor.
But he has a lot of comments on the way everyone else looks, but he won't turn his camera on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's that all about?
We can see your silhouette though.
Yeah, I'm bouncing. I'm going back and forth.
Bob
It's
and
like-
his head back and
I'm a
forth.
swaying.
Like a Dateline interview, like the person doesn't want to be.
I'm just sitting.
Prime.
I'm just sitting here in the land of hockey.
You got to do that fake voice deal that they always do.
I never picked up a hooker in my life. I don't know what they're talking about.
I was gonna give her a ride.
You know how they slow their voices
Totally.
down?
Yeah.
I still-
I don't know what they're talking about.
But it's like so modulated, you can't even take in the content. It's like, well, I was going to the store. What the fuck? Like, whoa.
Oh,
I
I
don't even
never.
remember you murdered someone. You sound so silly.
That's one of the never had a hooker in my life. Hey, honey, can you break a 20 or 100?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But yes, but it's AJ. I'm coming on Tevin's side on this one because I understand his point. I mean, you call yourself the land of hockey, and you know it's like the what would you I mean? You're not the land of hockey until everyone's won.
I disagree just because the respect that the hockey community in Minnesota garners from around the country and around the hockey world is so much more than that of say but Detroit is like hockey. They coined Hockey Town.
AJ
for that dynasty. But when it comes to the prowess of the college and it comes to the prowess of the high school, it's unmatched.
Here's the thing:
Unmatched.
in every other NHL city and where the colleges are, they're mocking the state.
Yes.
They call themselves the state of hockey, and they've never won a Stanley Cup. I'm telling you, I get out, I get around, I hear these.
Because it's a cherry-picked argument. It's so easy to say that. It's just
But it's
so
true.
easy to say that. That's the only thing they have.
But
But
it's true.
AJ, I would love to take your side, but I don't think my opinion holds much weight, and it might hurt your point of view.
Right.
So
Once you
I'll
start
stay
throwing-
out of it.
Once you start throwing Idaho potatoes into the
Who grows the
Where the hell did
potatoes?
that come from?
If you grow the potatoes, or you
we don't need to.
consume.
We don't need to read. We don't need to read.
I just don't want Tom to think I'm coming out of nowhere with it.
Oh, I've never thought that before.
I think this boils down to AJ is still young. He's still got a lot of hope for the Wild. After a few more bad seasons, you'll become jaded and you'll change your tune a little bit.
no, it just comes down to the fact that it's deeper than just one team. One team does not define the success of an entire community.
AJ, I'm on your side.
When it's your
Deeper than
NHL
one
team.
What was the good team?
No,
The
'cause
Gophers have won national championship.
well, yeah,
right?
and like, isn't Duluth is like great in
Duluth
hockey?
went back to back with national championships. The Gophers are having a resurgence now under Motzko.
Right.
The Huskies of St. Cloud State have been a top 10 team for the past decade
Don't
now.
tell Passolt that, and he'll never shut up.
Yeah,
Jeff
he's-
Passolt played for them, so they
There's something. It's not nothing.
yeah. And every like hockey analyst, when they come to watch the tourney, in St. Paul every year. They say this is better than everybody else's tournament and better than some college teams.
No, I bet you that's probably
like
true.
it's just unmatched, unparalleled to any other.
Turning a little.
Lip service.
I just want because he's making all valid points, but there's just still the rings and things we sing about. Minnesota.
The rings and things we sing about.
There's no Stanley Cup.
AJ, I got to tell you, this is a true story.
Yeah.
North Commons Park, North Minneapolis. It's right on Golden Valley Road there, but Logan. There was a hockey rink there, but it never had ice in it.
Yeah.
Just a hockey rink.
That's so common.
That's hilarious.
There's one that we have in our neighborhood too that we just use as a little mini dog park because they never put ice in it. So
no, they don't.
We just let dogs play in it.
You would think though. I don't. Actually, I think I knew one guy. I think Chucky Gleason played hockey in North America. He's the only kid I think I knew that ever did play hockey, though. I think. And he ended up going into Vietnam or some damn thing. I know that. That was not a good. I bet you that wasn't pleasant.
I bet you that wasn't pleasant.
But I'm thinking.
That's
All
not
right,
the state of hockey.
Who wants to bitch at Bob before he goes? AJ, you back at it?
Bob, I want to say in our time together, you've taken massive steps because now we have the audio situation figured out.
Yes.
I still have zero clue, zero inkling of what you look like. So we need to get the camera active.
We're gonna keep it like that. You know what? I like to be like in Cheers. You never saw Norm's wife, right?
So
it was the
AJ.
same thing in Big Bang Theory. You never saw what's his puss's mother.
What's his puss's mother? Yes, no question about it. Well, let me put it this way: you've never seen Sandy?
No idea.
Did you ever see like Rondo Hatton? You know who that is?
Oh yeah, we looked him up. You weren't here, but we looked him up once, and it ruined my computer forever. I actually can't use my computer anymore when I looked up Rondo Hatton.
Can you bring up Rondo Hatton on the screen somehow?
Wait, this guy looks like Frankenstein.
That's exactly what Bob looks like. Yeah.
On a good
That's
day.
a little guy, by the way. That's not makeup. That's what he really looked like.
Bob, can we theorize? Are you just not ready to get ready for the morning, and you don't want to? Like, what? Why don't you want to be seen?
I like a certain amount of mystery.
No, you don't.
Well, I thought that it was like, and I don't know how to turn my webcam on, but what you did today, I think, is actually more challenging than just putting your
He has a
webcam
sticker
on.
Bobbing his head again. Bobbing
He
his
has-
head back and forth.
He has a sticker over it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, because it came with a sticker and I never took it off.
Because he does. Yeah, it's a
I'm
while.
afraid of what might happen.
See,
We're gonna cut best of clips and just put pictures of Rondo Hatton in place of
That's
you
fine.
whenever you talk on social media.
that's perfect.
Just
I have a
imagine
question.
a craggy Rondo Hatton. That would be me.
I just thought of this. He's an Italian guy from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Is this witness protection? Is that what this is? We can't see Sandy because we're protecting him as a witness to a crime.
Is your name actually Jake or something?
I think
Yeah,
I
Jake
have.
is very Italian.
Uh-oh.
I think I found a picture of Bob. Do you want me to put him up?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me see.
Open Bob.
There I am.
There's Bob.
Hello, Jake.
By the
How are
way,
you?
that was his real face. I am not kidding. Rondo Hatton, that's what he looked
Okay,
like.
that was his glamour shot.
Yeah, it was.
That was like the prettiest picture I could find.
Oh my God, that poor man. This is the mug he gets.
Bob, you're right. You do look good.
Look at my. Don't I have full lips?
Yeah.
You got very full and a huge nose, so that's good.
What did
And a nice
Rondo
jaw.
Hatton do?
He was an actor.
Okay.
Oh, guessing what kind of movies?
Scary movies.
No, what a shock.
Love interest.
Yes, it was all love movies. That's what it was.
No rom-com.
You want to come over to the house and hit the sack with me? Because that's how he talked too, by the way.
Do you know, by the way, what Rondo started as? He was an American journalist.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I did
He
not
worked-
know that.
Was a sports writer for the Tampa Tribune. What the heck would they have had
Really?
back then? He only lived to 1946. He didn't live. He lived into his early. 51 is how old he was.
That's it. Well, yeah, but he was so gigantic, he wasn't going to live very long.
What did happen? Because go to his Wikipedia. There's a picture of him when he was younger. Put that one up. He was a good-looking guy.
Was he really?
Yes, he's sick. He obviously had some issues.
So a genetic thing kicked in, and that's
It had
what
to
they
be.
were? Yeah.
Oh, here it's the symptoms of acromegaly developed.
Acromegaly.
That's what it said after World War I.
Look at that. You're right. He's a handsome guy. Oh, that's sad. I never knew that. Oh, Jesus. That's terrible. Don't you think he's handsome?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brittany, what do you think of his body?
Good. 10 out of 10.
How about now?
Oh, 10 out of 10. I don't want to be the body shamer on this show.
So this is it. He didn't catch this. Was it a genetic thing?
It's unclear. It says after World War I, it probably was, or maybe it was some of that mustard gas.
Yeah, maybe. Jesus. He was a handsome young guy.
Poor Rondo.
Sad. Poor Rondo. Look at that. Looks happy and everything. Had hair. Had the whole deal going. All right. I'm sick of you, Bob. Go away.
Done.
So you're never going to appear on camera. Everyone wants to know, are you ever going to appear on camera?
How about maybe?
Maybe. We'll
maybe
go with
Friday. Maybe. I'll do it on Friday. Actually, I will do it Friday. All right.
All right, Sandy. We will see you then on Friday.
You darn tootin' you will. All right. See ya.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye.
Bob Sansevier, Sports, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Bob Sansevier, Sports, sponsored by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers. Sandy. So we're actually going to see Sandy on Friday.
I doubt it.
I'll believe
that's
it
not going to
when I
happen.
see it.
Is it?
Yeah, no.
He's lying. Isn't he?
Absolutely.
There's going to be camera issues or something. That we'll do it. We'll do it next week.
And all of a sudden, his mic got worse too.
I tried my best, but something must have malfunctioned.
It's either because he's sneaky. So I'm thinking it's either he's not ready or he's in a weird spot, like because he's doing it from his house,
right?
And he doesn't want something shown. Like there's something underlying in all this.
You're probably right. I don't doubt it. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight, had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling, only to gain it right back. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. Let me assure you that the short 60 days is totally worth it. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. Great job, Elizabeth. So happy to hear about your success. And by the way, I'm being sincere there. I am always happy to hear when people succeed on MN Fat Loss. Are you ready to lose weight and feel better? Go to mnfatloss.com, schedule a free phone consultation. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. You don't have to take time off of work or get a babysitter for the kids. It's as easy as getting on a quick call with the expert staff. You can share your goals, learn about the program, and see if it is a good fit to help you lose weight and feel better. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away. That's a great thing, too. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. Let them know that Tom sent you.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Quick check of the weather, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably not going to like it. Well, unless you're, of course, you're a skier or something like that. You're going to love that then. It's not going to snow yet. We're getting close.
I was going to say, don't say that.
We're getting close. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler than average. 56 degrees for the high today. A northwest wind at 10 to 20, so it'll feel cooler than that. Tonight, here we go. Tonight, clear skies with patchy fog, areas of light frost by Tuesday morning. A low of 35 degrees. Man. Tuesday, mainly sunny and cool, a high of 56. But then 38 for the low, light frost Wednesday morning as well. And finally on Wednesday, we get extended from there, but that going through Wednesday is enough. 60 degrees, 45 in the morning with light frost, otherwise partly cloudy and breezy. So a lot of frost. Look, I mean, it's almost the middle of October, so we're getting there. Winter's right around the corner. It usually sucks on my birthday. So, now we got, of course, Ethan sharing that day with me, stole my birthday. Typical.
Oh, you were so excited when he was born on your birthday.
I was not. I was deeply disappointed. It was horrible.
November 7th. You were so pumped. I remember I was working with you then, and you were so elated.
He was the second person to steal my birthday. JB's son, John, was born on November 7th, too. He was the first one to steal my birthday. So,
I really wanted Fawn to be born on my birthday, but she came out like a week, or no, she's 20. What is she? I'm 23rd. She's 26th.
Yep.
And then Gogo's 28th. So
really?
I wanted one of them to
that.
live. Yeah, because I feel like it makes your birthday way more fun to have like an excited kid and a cake and all that stuff.
No, it doesn't. It takes some attention away from me.
Right. Baby.
So taking all the attention away from me, so I'm very upset. There's no question.
Keep in mind, Tevin, Tom is so uncomfortable if anybody does anything for him.
Ugh.
Try giving him one time I gave him a pillow that had like a picture of Jude on it.
Judy.
It was like a cartoony like King Cavalier. And he was like, "You really shouldn't have done this." I was like, it was like $10 and I saw it and thought of you.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't need a whole celebration for my birthday. Like, it's just another day of the week. I'm still going and doing work, whatever I'm doing. Like, no.
If you could call your younger self on the phone, what's the first piece of advice you'd give yourself? Do you have any ideas? If you could call yourself on the phone as a younger person, what would you tell the younger person?
What age am I?
I don't know. It just says younger person. Doesn't say.
God, I would probably have told myself, stay in radio, but get your nursing degree back then. Because now trying to do it is harder.
You're not in radio. Oh, that's right. You're on the other deal. I forgot. Okay, so you should have done something, but you didn't do it.
Yeah, like I think I would have said, I know it's going to seem chaotic, but this will be the easiest time to be in school for sure.
I suppose that is true. Anybody else? You could call your younger self on the phone. What would you say to yourself?
Don't invest so heavily into the Vikings. It's not good for your
emotions. Yeah, well, good move.
Yeah, I mean, you get like the stereotypical, like, invest in Google or whatever else. But it'd be like, more like, I don't know. I tell my younger self to be like more open-minded on like ways to approach life. Like, you don't like going through school, they kind of push you to one direction and be like, hey, think more outside the box and things with what you want to do.
What do you got, AJ?
Maybe like as a like depending on the age that I'm talking myself, as a younger kid, maybe like don't feel like you're too cool to do something, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause there's some things where it's just like, I don't want to do that. That just sounds like not a fun thing. You know, go do it. Go, see that concert or go do that, one thing. I think, you miss out on some stuff by not doing that.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So pretty wise, I think, across the board.
How about you?
Mine is a little heavier, but it's an absolute fact. My advice to younger people, especially public figure younger people, if you're going to help someone out, especially financially, you better watch your back because you'll get every dime you got stolen if you don't. People, I don't care how good of friends you are or whatever, people will go after your money like there's no tomorrow.
But would younger self take that advice from you? Because obviously you gave money to people when you felt a pull, like a empathetic pull.
Yes.
Would younger of self have, if you would have given that advice, do you think you would have been able to put up a wall? Like, I'm not giving you that money then.
I don't know. I would hope so.
Yeah.
People are literally the greediest they've ever been. My God, people are greedy right now.
Do you think you would have maintained some relationships that you have lost because of that?
No doubt.
Or do you have to say, I'm thankful because that person showed me who they are?
I am not thankful to have anybody try to steal from me. No,
Yeah.
I am not at all. And like I said, this is not just me. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody out there needs to watch your back because when you can, Bill and Susie are great, but as soon as dollar bill comes along, you got problems because people will do anything for money. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it happen.
Yeah, I don't have, not to the extent, I've seen it happen for sure, but not to the extent that you have had. You kind of are a magnet for people like that. And
I
people,
am. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's true.
And the perception that people have about you as well is like, oh, he's a billionaire. He can do this. He can do that.
Yeah, billionaire.
But like, I don't think people understand that. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It just that blows my mind. There's stories that I hear that you say where I go, that's terrible. That would break my heart if somebody did that to me, just emotionally.
Good friends too. I'm talking about good friends in some cases. It's like, really, you actually tried to do that to me? Like, what are you doing?
I stole one Diet Pepsi one time, and I still think about it.
Here it is, right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I stole one Diet Pepsi from Tom when he was out of town for like a month, and it was a rough morning.
If you're helping people, make sure you do it through a really solid, good organization. Because I do love helping people. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I've had a very good life. I've had a great life, as a matter of fact. So if I can help, it'd be wonderful. But watch your back. I'm just telling you. No doubt about it.
That's good advice to have, like the buffer of the organization.
Well, and the other problem you do have is certain levels of law enforcement. Well, I told you about the FBI. They can give a rat's ass who stole from me. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's real nice. Isn't your job to protect people like me? Well, I guess not.
This is on like a very small level, but at the time it felt huge to me. My house got broken into twice.
Oh yeah.
Once when I was there, once when I wasn't there. And they took everything. I had 2 computers I used for editing and radio stuff. They took my Xbox. They took all these things that like I had saved up and I had, I didn't have much at the time. And I remember this was the first realization that at the end of the day, a lot of times you just don't get anything back. And I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I had some of the numbers, the serial numbers, like in case it shows up at this pawn shop. And they're like, I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that's I feel like that's very naive. Like I got robbed at gunpoint once, and like I remember the police officer or detective coming over like a couple hours later, like here's a lineup of people that we think are suspects, and we point them out. I remember I pointed the guy out, and then he was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do something, like we're gonna find him, whatever, you'll get money back. I was like, I'm not. This is the last time I'll ever hear from any of you. And like, sure, they walk out the door. Nothing. So yeah, like, no, you're not going to get anything back unless it's a very high profile crime because they're trying to climb the ladder.
I could not do that. I could not steal money from people. I would have to admit to myself that I'm a total loser who can't make his own money.
Yeah, but also, which you're right, but let's just be thankful we're not in a situation where we've like, I know that this isn't the situation people have been in your life, but where you're going, how am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to this and that? Like, because the things that I would do for
my mother do that.
Yeah. The things that I would do for my kid, for my family, like that's a moral, I would have a blurry area there.
Well, that show we had on Friday, they had Scott and his lovely wife and Katie came in. The man's going to die. Yeah. There's no question about it. And I'm just could not be taking it better. Very, very pleasant. You can tell that she is taking it much harder than he because, it's separation there, which is not good. But Kathryn's known Katie for a long time. But here's a guy that's going to ride a bike 11,000 miles just to say, hey, I'm going out, but I ain't going out sitting around on my ass.
Yeah.
Just really admirable. We are so lucky in this country. That's why I hate it when people, shut up. Go live somewhere else. Right. Get the hell out.
Right. It's all about perspective. Like, yes, is life perfect? No, but like you're also not worried about, being murdered and drugged through the streets behind a truck. Like keep it in perspective and you can be happy even while things aren't going great.
I still love the fact that it's America, especially that Squad. They love to bitch about America. What's that? Isn't it called the Squad? Those 4 women.
Oh, The View.
No, you're talking about like AOC and
I
don't know that anybody calls them the Squad, but yeah, I know
they call them the Squad on television, really? National television. They call them the Squad.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Squad. That I guess it fits.
I don't know what the hell, but the one is it Cori Bush or what's her name? Somebody, it doesn't matter what her name is, but they were talking about this whole Hamas situation and attacking Israel and murdering hundreds of people and all the rest of it. And she tried to blame it on America. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why don't you be a little more desperate, you loser? Good God.
Yeah.
Now, after we've gone through this, let me read this. If you could call your younger self on the phone, what's the first piece of advice you'd give? 39% of us have at least one big regret in life.
Same.
Exactly. One regret in life. Wait a minute, I got to find my place again because I screwed it up. The top 20 things we'd want to tell ourselves. 39% of us have at least one big regret in life, according to a new survey. Half those people said it has to do with a relationship. No, it's kind of what we were talking about. Trusting friends.
I don't really. I've been lucky. All my relationships, even if I had my heart broken, I'm really glad I had them. I don't know because I've never I've never had an abusive or it followed me or somebody took out credit card money in my name. I've never had one that affected me so much in my future. But I learned something about myself in each one.
I never went through that. I thought she was the one deal. I never went through that. I dated some women I really thought a lot of, but you can always tell when it's not really at that level.
I thought because one of the guys I dated, I thought him and I got along so well that our lives, I saw it because we lived with each other. It was really easy to imagine that. Yeah. And I look back and of course there's giant red flags of this would have never worked, but there was somebody for sure. But also he was somebody who never said when something was wrong. One of those people. You wouldn't have known. There was a lot of things I blame myself for, but him not expressing that things, he didn't like this or was, uncomfortable with it or whatever.
Right.
I would have never known it because that was, and I should have realized that because he did that for other people where they'd be like, hey, can I get a ride home? And he'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. It'd be so out of the way, 5 cities over. But since him and I both didn't drink, he'd be driving people back. And I'm like,
oh yeah, you get a lot of that.
People that you saw that he had a hard time with conflict or saying no or having boundaries. And then I never applied it to myself. I was like, oh, but he's honest with me.
Right.
And then you find out, you're like, oh God.
My favorite of all time, and I know her name still, I still remember. She's a very beautiful young woman. We went out on one date. And then I called her about a week later, see if she wanted to go out again. And she said, and I quote, I'm not really your type. It's not that you're not my type. I'm not your type.
And you go, yeah, you are. You actually.
No, I started laughing. I actually went, all right, later, goodbye.
Bye. You were until you screwed up that saying.
I'm calling you for a second date, aren't I?
Yeah, we did go out once, did we not? But
with that statement, you confirmed that statement.
I lived with a woman when I was in Florida for a while.
Yeah.
It was a great time. We lived together, all the rest of it. You know how I could tell when it was over?
She packed your stuff up.
You got it. I came down the stairs and there was my suitcase at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, well, I guess this party's over, huh? Okay.
I am so lazy about stuff like that. I would never pack Justin's stuff
no
up.
way.
I would and also, what a weird feeling that somebody went through your stuff.
Right. Like, did you? Right. And I'm like, not just going to grab the stuff that you packed and leave. Like, I got to go make sure you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. One thing I am quite grateful, and I wasn't forever. I really thought, well, that's too bad, blah, blah, blah. But then somebody said, hey, didn't you used to date a woman named blah, blah, blah in Florida? I said, yeah. Goes, have you talked to her recently? I said, no, I haven't talked to her in 20 years.
Yeah.
Have you seen a picture of her recently? I said, no, what are you talking? I swear to God, he shows me a picture of her. And for some reason, she decided to get her hair curled. She looked like Bozo the Clown, for Christ's sake.
No, that's rough.
Terrible.
But you would have talked her out of that.
You would have saved her.
Yeah, probably. I would have saved her. But yeah, sorry, lady. I'm with someone great now.
Yeah, I'm sure she's dying.
She's just listening to the show, sobbing.
Oh,
With her curly
Catherine took my spot with that prick.
Yeah.
I mean, that great guy.
She's like sending Kathryn flowers every year.
Okay, here we go. So that is not the first thing we'd bring up is a relationship. Half of the people said it has to do with a relationship, but that isn't the first thing that we'd bring up. The top 20 things that we'd want to tell ourselves. These are the top 20 things you want to tell yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Be more confident. Good advice in general, just easier said than done. Try not to care what other people think. Again, not as easy when you're that's pretty hard to do when you do a radio or a podcast show and you don't care what people think of you.
You have to have a part of you that has to be okay with that, because just when I turn on the mic and somebody hears my voice, there's going to be, a person who goes, I don't like her voice. And I can't change that.
Yeah, you can't worry about that. Don't let opportunities pass you by. In other words, seize the day. Look after your physical health. Don't wait until you're already old and sore. That's number one so far, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be smoking cigarettes and drinking 85,000 beers and all the rest of it. You want to have a beer once in a while, good for you. But do not, this whole idea that the federal government and therefore the state governments are asking you to don't take tablets, smoke the pot.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why would you do that?
It's crazy.
Because all of it now, the cannabis now is all smoking, the stuff that they've legalized for just recreation. I guess gummies too are they're legalized.
Yeah, I thought
now,
it was
but
edibles
I
as
think-
well.
Yeah, it's the whole.
I think they are now.
It's the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think there's any part of it that's held back.
Because they really push the plant itself. Every time I see the story on television, it's always about the plant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is the most common. Like, I don't know that they're necessarily pushing that, but I think that's just the most common way to consume cannabis.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but don't smoke. It's a horrible. Do not inhale smoke. It's not good for you. Right?
Yeah. Particulates. Think about
somebody's been hitting a pipe over here.
It's not like it's not terrible for you. Like, it's not like
for your lungs.
Well, yeah, it's bad. Okay, obviously, like, it's bad for you, but it's not like smoking a cigarette.
Oh,
for
yes, it
example.
is.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
That's the thing is like, no, it's all particulates. So I want you to,
Listen to her, right?
I want you to someday like just take like a basic lung anatomy kind of vibe. Is that like what bugs your in your body? Like it doesn't matter what you're smoking. If you're putting substances in your lungs, you're causing the alveoli like to not inflate as much. So there's a whole process behind that.
Yeah.
And like it's pretty much giving yourself an allergic reaction and then your body tries to compensate for it. So
Yeah, Tevin.
the point is like get high. Tom's so right, but like eat it. Just eat it. Don't the smoke in general you don't want to be doing.
No, you do not. It's not good for you.
Mom.
Okay, Mom.
Want to call him Dad?
Exactly.
That sounds weird.
Daddy?
I already got that duty with him anyway. He doesn't have to call me that. Now, see, this is good. Don't waste time on negative people. They're not worth it. Couldn't agree more.
That's so true.
Andy's here. How you doing, Andrew?
He's got gifts.
Sure do.
Gifts for the people.
A nice new laptop.
Learn from your mistakes so you don't repeat them. Very, very sage advice. Save 10% on your paycheck. The earlier you start, the better. I was talking about that with my son-in-law over the weekend. People don't realize that when your kids are born, if you put away a little bit of money at a time, by the time they're like 25 years old, there's a lot of dough sitting there.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the type of things that need to be taught in school, like in like financial like literacy classes, because there are ways where like, or if your parents own a small business, you can put kids on like your payroll and help building your credit. Like there's a lot more power to people if they are financially literate at a young age, which is probably why they don't teach it to the masses.
Yeah.
But
probably
I think
true.
That should be number one on the list.
I would think so. We'll just run through a couple more here. Relax and enjoy the ride. Look after your mental health. Spend more time with your parents while you still can. I would say that's one parent, not my dad. Forget it. I'm not spending more time with him. He's out of the mix. Celebrate the little wins in life, not just the big ones. I would say absolutely celebrate the little wins in your life because there are going to be a lot more of those than the big ones.
Yeah. And it's, you know what, it's funny because we were talking about like birthdays and stuff like that. Like go have a birthday party because at some point it's going to feel so, like in your 20s, like you can have them, but like there's just no wiggle room right now for me to go, I'm turning 37, have a birthday party. Like, but in your 20s, it's fun. Do it.
Okay, here's going to be a tough one for you guys. Number 18, always be there for your friends. See, they didn't even respond. I knew it. Backstabbers.
But you need a ride somewhere.
Backstabbers, everyone.
I'll give you a ride somewhere.
No, I need a new left leg. So if you cut yours off.
Well, mine's black, so I don't know if that'll really.
Oh, that's the problem with the transplant is the melatonin in your skin.
So if I cut off my left leg and I got your left leg, somebody go, hey, do you know where the Dairy Queen is? Yeah, just take your black leg and go that way.
Sorry, I call left black leg now.
Yes, black leg. No left. Hey, don't take a left, take a black leg.
If somebody just joined the podcast, I'm not even going to explain to why, exactly. What is happening.
Welcome to our most recent tangent.
No more tangents. No more tangents. Be disciplined with your time. In other words, do not waste your time. Would have to agree with almost. There are a lot more of these, but we got the gist of it all. Yeah, I mean, don't trust people too much. Try to help as much as you can, but don't expose yourself where you can't protect your own life. Because people are weird. As soon as money gets involved, people get really weird.
Yeah.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah. It must be how people are raised. Like, I think that there's some aspect of like more. They always need more because they, I mean, you grew up in I kind of grew up in a situation too. We didn't have a lot of money at all, but I don't feel that urgency to stockpile money. I don't have that urgency at all.
Well, there's no urgency to it. It's just, I would protect your money. I'm not saying stockpile.
No, I was saying about other people having that, like, I need money. Oh God, money. Yeah. Like, I don't have that urgency. If you told me today that I'm like, hey, you don't have a job anymore, Brittany, I'd say, I'll figure it out.
How did you know that? We still got an hour to go.
You're going to wait on a Monday? You're going to fire me?
You're out, sister.
Usually people get fired on a Friday.
Do they?
Yeah.
God, I was trying to think of the last time. I get fired a lot. I was fired, but I can't remember when they fired me over at the Q. I can't remember what day of the week it was.
It was a messy breakup. There was not.
It was wasn't that messy because they said, we're going to do something. They say, okay, goodbye. I didn't argue the point at all. I had an 8-year contract. I could have stuck it right up their ass, but I didn't.
Yeah. It was a messy breakup, though. There wasn't like a, hey, you're going to do 2 weeks. It was like a, hey, you're going to do until this time kind of breakup. Yeah. That's a messy breakup.
There wasn't no like send off farewell tour.
No, there wasn't a lot of that going on. And then, of course, they lied and told everybody I retired. So even though I gave them all their money back and exited in, I thought, a high-class manner, they still had to F me over one more time. That's alcoholism is what causes that. There's no question about it. Your brain cannot be functioning properly.
I have lived with somebody fully, like our shared everything. And I was able to move out of their house within a month. So 6 months of living together with a breakup, that's a messy
I bet. That's worse than my deal.
I'm just saying.
That was worse than my deal.
6 months hanging around knowing that you guys don't like each other.
Yeah, that is definitely messy.
Yeah.
We're throwing that in messy.
It was interesting on it. The thing that still amazed me to this day, almost everyone in that building was someone I either agreed to hire or hired myself. Not one of them called to say goodbye. Because it's all about money.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make more money now because he didn't make all that money. So now they can pay us all more.
Yeah.
It's all about them. That's just how people are.
Well, and too, like, in a situation like that, I'm sure some of them were probably like, well, if I'm seen fraternizing now with the enemy, like now are they going to fire me too?
I'm bad about that because I'll say the thing and then I'm like, well, I hope that doesn't come back and bite me. Like I
better way to live life though. I'm not going to shut up for people. Just blow it out your ass.
So like honestly, if like I would reach out to any of those people if something happened, I'd say, hey, I hope everything's okay, and I'd be like, oh, I hope that they don't go, Brittany texted me. Like I still have a relationship like with I love Lisa Miller to death. And
I haven't seen Lisa in a long time, but Lisa was always very nice.
She's amazing.
She was always very nice.
But it's like you have those moments where you're like, well, I can't not like me and Allie being friends. That was looked at as bad.
No,
and I was like, great. Well, me and Allie have so much in common. Why wouldn't we be friends?
While she was working like down the hall from you guys?
Yeah. They didn't like it.
That's weird.
Super weird.
Literally the same company.
It's literally, but like we have to pretend we're enemies. And it was like, we have so much in common. We're both here at 4 a.m. and miserable.
We park next to each other in the parking lot.
I know. And then we live together. And we were like, should we pretend we don't?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
But you got to regret. You look back and go, that was the highest rated morning show in America. And now it's just over. Well, that makes me sad.
It's an ebb and flow. You can't maintain that. I think there is kind of. I've never
maintained it for 37 years.
I think if you look up the definition of run, if you look up the definition of maintaining, it's that.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at anything with big success, you've talked about this, Tom.
No, it's true.
You're at the top of the hill, and you're like, oh God, the only way to go down is down. True. I remember when we were number one for a while when I was there, not by any means the extent like you're talking about.
When you were where?
At KQ.
Why your day part didn't do well?
Was it?
Didn't your day part do well?
I was only on the morning show. I was on the overnight morning show. But I'm saying for a while, there was times we were kind of, fluctuating. And then for a while, we were one for a long time. And there was a part of me that was like, oh God, like, how are we going to keep this at this point? Like, it's always that feeling of like, then now things will go down and then up and then whatever. Like, it's just part of it.
Why did they, though? Do you know why they did?
I just mean like eventually it would.
No, not necessarily. That show was kicking everyone's ass in America until Cumulus bought it.
Yeah, I'm saying
they destroyed that place.
I wasn't around before Cumulus.
You're lucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I only experienced because we had these bumps here and there.
Yeah, that whole 6 years.
Yeah, so it wasn't like I'm saying that we were always somewhere in the top like 3. But there was times we were 1 and everyone would run around excited. And I would be like, oh, but at some point we're going to be like 2 and they'll be mad about it for some reason.
Really? That did happen?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? It was great, though. I do not regret for 1 minute having worked at KQRS for 37 years. It wasn't, the last 6 years were not great. They were not my kind of people at all. They didn't like me. I didn't like them. But I still loved. I mean, what a great experience that was. It was unbelievable. It was, I'd like to bitch, but I can't. You know what I mean?
You're a very lucky man in a lot of ways.
I don't know about lucky. My back kind of hurt from carrying everybody.
You're very talented, guy. Is that what you want me to say?
Oh, my back is killing me. No, I was like, I like talking and being honest about this because most people wouldn't do this.
No.
They just go, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I'll talk about it all day if you want.
I know you will.
I don't care. I got another job. It took me I think an hour.
Yeah,
so that was tough.
Just phone was ringing off the hook the second.
Well, I will tell you one thing that the big problem that they do have now in local radio. I'm not talking about local just here. I'm talking about local radio through every market in America.
Absolutely.
It's almost over. I mean, it just is. That makes me sad.
Yeah, and it's almost over because back when podcasting first kind of burst onto the scene, I feel like a lot of radio stations pushed back against it as if it was going to be a trend that was going to die off.
Oh, that's what they thought. Yeah.
And now you have all these people that probably would love to be on radio back then that are like, well, I've already got my podcast now. I'm making more money than I would being on radio. And if radio doesn't somehow adapt and change with the times, it's going to continue to die off.
Oh, there's no question about that. It's just the way it is. Life changes. I would say the national. Well, first of all, in podcasting, it's very, very difficult. I think Adam Carolla gave the best example of how to do it, with a few people. But most of the big podcasts now is like one person.
Yeah.
That's just they want to hear one person talking even this kind of format that we're in is not as popular as it used to be. because they like to listen to one person talking about this, that, and the other thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. So by Friday, I'll probably resign and get the hell out. But
I have a feeling you'd be the one person that would stay.
Right.
Tom.
I don't think so.
Yeah, right.
I can't even talk to myself.
Dude, there's some, and which like that form of radio, like some people are great at it, but there are some people that try to do it that are terrible, and it's like, yo, like just please stop.
I'm not like a bit person, so I actually only listen to conversations like this.
Me too.
That's just what I like.
Conversations. Yep.
And I like people. You can tell when people are in the moment, not listening to whatever. I like conversations. That's what I want to hear.
That's why I can't watch Fox and CNN when they have these people. Let me tell you how it's going to be. It's like, you don't have a clue what the hell you're even talking about.
How long did you practice that in the mirror?
Yeah.
You think this is a debate? It's more like a dehate.
Ooh, I like it.
And then they're like, wait for applause on their little note. Wait for applause. Wait for applause.
Right. You're like, nobody's applauding, but you're still taking your applause break. What are you doing?
I love that.
So yeah, I look, there's still a future in this kind of thing. You just have to pick the avenue to take, because it is not going to be the same in another, I would say at the most 3 years from now.
Yeah. And I think too, it's like, you can tell the stations that are pivoting and putting in multimedia aspects and really working with like the idea that people are live streaming or having podcasts available and doing video.
Right.
And then you can tell, I'll tell you this, like, I got nothing but like, hey, I hope KQ does well, but they fought tooth and nail to get a Twitter account. Like, they were not exactly on the edge of the advancements. I'm just saying, like, they suck at advancements. And I hope they didn't do video. I don't even know if they do video yet, but like I got love. I hope they do well, whatever, but they're going to have to pivot with some aspects of technology.
I don't think they can.
I mean, it took us a long time to start doing podcasts after, you know what I mean? Like having it record.
I did one 12 years ago because they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Jesus, you can't see the future coming 12 years down the line.
Yeah. Well, most people can't. I can't, but I can tell you that, like, right now, video in general, like, the fact that they don't have it is wild.
It is a huge mistake. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Kicking and screaming. We can't bring you into the 20th century.
She's throwing
Whoa,
pens.
settle down over there.
Something is wrong with you.
Oh, you just noticed? You just now noticed.
Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming, baby. All right, we do have to take a break here. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes, right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Look at this. I have some Planters peanuts.
Oh, flex.
I love them.
I have great news for this. I've got great development right now.
What?
Our email's working. So if you've been trying to do feedback to me for the last like 3 or 4 days, it hasn't been working. But I just got like 3 emails in a row because I reached out to
Pat Lager.
Mm-hmm. And whatever he did, he fixed it. So if you've been trying to email me and I haven't written back, it's not, I normally do, but you can go ahead and send me stuff again.
Why was it broken for 4 days?
I don't know. We had that whole like internet thing where the streams were down last week.
Them or is it this building?
I have no idea.
I believe it was a server issue at Hubbard.
Oh, it was?
Yes. So because
Let's
then
shut it down then.
Well, I think they did shut it down and now.
No, I mean the whole building.
Oh, okay.
Just shut it down. Get rid of TV, radio.
I'll throw that out there when I'm over there in a couple hours. Here.
That's right. You're going to be over there in a while.
I will be.
But yeah, that's so we're good now though.
Yes. So
yes,
I don't want people to think that they can't email me because they probably have been the last couple of days and not get anything back. I am available to you now.
And Tevin and I are both getting these emails now as well.
Oh, great.
I don't get shit.
We're in the loop.
So where do you find emails? I don't even know where to find them.
So if they want to email us, they go on the app. And
No, that's not what I'm saying. How do I find emails on my own computer? Because I don't know.
We'll have to explain that to you during the break.
Yeah.
Is that
I think if you just click on the email
mail button?
Yeah, the Gmail button. I think everything gets forwarded to you there.
There's a Gmail button?
Yeah.
Oh, Andy and I got some work to do after the show today.
I think you found it.
I found it. I got to do some stuff for Michael Bryant with Andy. Ms. Pat Williams, you're going to bring her in October 17th. Is that true?
We're going to try.
I don't have any emails from listeners on here. Did you guys block me out?
You don't get them sent to you.
I don't get the emails from.
Oh, I thought you said you forwarded them to me.
I just usually relay them to you on there, especially like this one. Michael, edibles make me feel disgusting and super tired. Edibles aren't for everyone. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, but that's not the argument. The argument is don't smoke.
Yeah.
Here's one that I did want to throw your way here. Anthony Edelman reached out. He goes, Tom, will you ever write a book about your career or just your life in general?
Yep, and I already have a name for it. I don't know when I'm going to write it, but someday, you know what the name's going to be?
You're a goddamn disaster.
Close. It's going to be called Miasma. Do you know what miasma is?
No.
Look it up. Because it's a perfect name for a book about me. I will tell you that.
Mine is all pulling up medical terms because of what I Google.
MIA.
MIA.
Is it a highly unpleasant or unhealthy smell or yappy or vapor?
Nope.
An oppressive or unpleasant atmosphere which surrounds or emanates from something?
Yeah, it's basically like there's a fog over everything.
Oh, okay.
There are better descriptions of it than that, though. I don't know.
There's the miasma theory, and I think that's where you're driving this from. That's abandoned medical theory that held that diseases such as chloria, chlamydia, or the Black Death caused by a miasma, a noxious form of bad air, also known as night air.
So why would I pick that name? Because I poisoned the air for 53 years. That's why.
That's actually really good.
What do you think about that?
I was like, why are you such a Debbie Downer? And then it's, oh no, that's really good.
That's clever. And then you need to like release an audio book that goes along with it. That's just you narrating, you're telling the stories as well.
You think so?
Oh my God, you would have to do your own narration.
Yeah.
You should get on top of this. You should
Write a book.
Yeah, work with somebody because like you can tell them
I'm gonna wait till
stories.
people find out this show's even on the air before I'm gonna start writing a book.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the book will help promote the podcast.
Right, and then we can book you on this show. We'll get Art to book you on the show to do your.
Don't call. We're gonna have to approve that before we book this author.
I can't. I'm not coming on your show. Forget it.
Right, because you can, or you could even have if somebody did like a third party, like somebody wrote a story about your life, and then your audio version of it is you like, well, this is actually what happened because this candy ass sugar tit.
Oh, if I started telling the truth about what really happened with everybody, that book would sell huge.
Yeah, Rachel's in. She'd be curious to know what you really think of everybody from the KQ Morning Show.
Like who? I mean, when I worked there?
We won't go into detail, but she's got names.
Well, she got some people she doesn't care too much for.
I think that she wants to know things about.
Right. Or just because everybody wants to see behind the curtain. Like they're like, what's Brittany really like? Oh, does she? And like, if you're
what
like,
an asshole.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait a minute. She's sitting right there.
You literally say everything I do all the time, always. If I come in here and I'm quiet in the morning, Brittany's in a bad mood. I'm like, everything. I have there's no.
But then at the same time, if you come in and you're too loud and talking too much, also a disaster.
Also a disaster. If you notice, there's a very small realm I can live in.
You know, you just gave me you inspired me.
Oh,
because I think the only way to promote a show like this is to write a book.
That's what
You're probably right.
And by inspired, you mean I straight up gave you that idea?
No, I was going to write a book anyway, and you ruined it.
I know, but for now, what motives are behind the book?
I don't know. I just have to figure it out. But it would be a good way to promote the show because, like I said, three quarters of people down in Red Wing, they were all came over, said hello, took pictures, all the rest of it. Had no idea the show was even on.
And it's also a good way to like close the book, on that chapter of your career. And it's like, okay, here's what we're doing post KQ, and
well, that wouldn't even be a book. That would just be a pamphlet.
Here's the thing. You're thinking about the time and energy because I know you're like, oh my God, I don't have the time and energy to put in this.
Well, I'd write it with Kathryn anyway.
Will you write it with Kathryn and then you grab another ghostwriter who takes these stories because you just sit down for an hour a week and tell him stories, him or her stories, and they come in, they follow you a little bit here and there, they get a feel for your life and they write up a lot of stuff, but it's all your input. You get right or refusal, you get whatever. But I think that'd be a great idea.
Won't I look like kind of like a prick in my own book, though?
That's fine.
Like when I went to
No, you won't.
No,
you
you'll
won't.
be fine. Like you have to understand, I was only 18 years old. I might have been 17 still, as a matter of fact, when I went to Brown Institute. I think I was 17. And I came in one day and I was not wearing a tie because you had to wear a tie back then.
Damn.
To do radio?
To go to radio school.
Oh, Jesus.
You had to wear a tie.
I'm lucky now people show up in pants.
So the guy didn't come up to me and pull me aside, but he had to tell me in front of everyone else, you need to learn how to follow rules, Tom. You're not following the rules at all. You have to wear a tie here. So follow the rules like everyone else. Now, if he had told me that behind closed doors, I'd be okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. But the fact that he had to bark at me, I showed up the next day, I was wearing 7 ties.
Jesus Christ.
What an arrogant little prick I was, huh? What do you think?
Listen, it would be, if I had to write a story of my life, which it's not eventful enough to have a story.
We'll see.
Joe just wrote in, you should write a book calling My Life is a Goddamn Disaster. But I don't have what you have. I don't have like a million stories. But like, I think that if you don't give insight into moments you're an asshole, it's a shitty book because it's not real.
Agree.
We've all been monsters.
No
We
doubt
all
about
take
it.
turns having moments where we freak out at the AT&T store. Like you can't be perfect all the time.
Maybe I'll change. I have a subtitle. It'd be called Miasma, or subtitle, I never fired anyone. And I really wish people would understand that. I was not in charge of any of that stuff. All the people that got fired, I never fired anyone.
Why does that bug you so much?
Because the company threw it on my back, so I had to take all the blame for it. It's just another piece of shit move by management.
Would it have made a difference if you begged for them to stay?
Like, I'm going to beg someone. You ever talked to me before?
Like,
I'm not good at begging.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because obviously you have a big say in things.
No, not that kind of stuff.
But you would say that, listen, at the end of the day, it was the company's decision for...
Not the end of the day. It was flat out.
That's what I'm saying.
The first person wanted to leave the show to do their own show. They left. It didn't work, so they fired both of the people on the show. Somehow, they told everybody that I fired them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I did not fire them. Stop lying. That's the one thing about management, and not just over at the Q. It's pretty much most places, not everywhere, but they will lie just to cover their ass. And no matter how much damage they do to you, they don't care.
Yeah, which is weird because like I've managed like restaurants, bars, and clubs and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Anytime I've like had to fire somebody, if like someone was like, "Did you fire so and so?" I'd be like, "Damn right, I fired so and so, and I'll do it again."
It's also like, yeah, did you? It's funny when people don't. You know your friend, okay? You know they're the type that showed up late all the time,
Right.
showed up drunk. Why are you shocked? Like,
right.
You know your friend, you know their skill sets, you know they were shitty. It's fine.
Yeah, like he was ripping shots in the back alley before work today. Like, yes, I fired him. And anybody else want to get fired? Come down to my office.
There you go. I like it.
No.
That works. But I was just never in a position. I was no one's boss. Nobody was my boss, and I wasn't anybody else's boss. So there was just no way for me to fire anybody.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't work for me. They worked with me, and most of them sucked at it. But, you know, except for Sandy, of course.
Oh, yeah. Who got fired the most?
Who got fired more than anybody? What, 5-6 times now? Something like that?
Yeah, it's funny. I think radio, you kind of have to accept that there is an ebb and flow. I think in every job, but especially radio is like, man, and that's what makes me so nervous. And I never know if I should finish my degree or what, because I just don't know if I trust the likability, right? Like 1 minute people like you, 1 minute they don't. And I just go,
Yeah, I suppose.
that makes me so nervous. Like, I don't know if I just am not meant for a job where it's not consistent, because I feel that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. Maybe I should.
I think you should write a book.
There'd be a great chapter in there. There was one woman that I worked with over there. Why don't you hit on every man who comes near you? God, it was embarrassing.
Okay, but I was 20 and looking for love in all the wrong places.
Honest to God, you would be leaving, and it's like, this is supposed to be a pretty classy event, and it was always, you know, I'm very attracted to you. Would you stop drinking so much?
There are people that are just flirty.
Well, that's beyond flirty.
I know, but like, it's just funny because like I don't operate like that.
Oh,
like
God,
I
no,
like
no,
the like the flirty, but like there is something lovely about being once in a while when you're around those people and they kind of do like the touching and then this and that. And you're like,
I hate that.
I don't mind it. I don't know.
Oh, it drives me nuts. It's like, ugh, why don't you drink some more? Well, that's what it is. They were always drunk, always.
Yeah.
Always. It's like, oh my God.
I think they think that they have to operate on that aspect, or maybe that's like a defense mechanism. Like there's people out there that laugh at everything, and that's like their defense mechanism to make it in this world.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They do. It's like, what's funny about that?
I know. I'll be like, yeah, I've got a pap smear later. No, I really do.
I really do. It's true. So you're getting more emails now?
Yes.
That's good. You got any good ones? Tell them to shut the fuck up. Is that one of them?
Eric wrote, I tell people about you kids all the time. Idea, get your app on the automotive system so I can be downloaded directly into people's cars. We're working on it. Thanks.
We don't have that in place after 7 months.
I think that's a little bit more of a process. Like you can't just call up Ford and be like, hey, put our app on all your new cars.
Well, there's a thing called Android Auto, and there's an iTunes or Apple version as well. I don't know what it's called, but
like the Uconnect or whatever type of thing.
Yeah, something like that. You plug your phone into the car, and then
Apple
it shows
CarPlay,
up. CarPlay, yep, that's what it is. Yeah, you plug your phone into the car, and it shows up, but it only works on cars that support that sort of thing, which is only cars that were made in the last like few years, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
because Melissa's got a car that's like maybe 5 years old, if that, and it doesn't have it.
Yeah, I think like with Toyotas, when I was selling those, it was like 2018 or newer
Yeah.
had Apple CarPlay.
Mm-hmm. So most people still wouldn't be able to benefit from that, but
yeah, probably
some could. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
it's
true.
playing it in your car is as easy as just play it on the app and connect it to your Bluetooth. Any car
Yep.
made in the last 15 years, probably, maybe even longer, has Bluetooth connection.
Yeah, they do.
I get the hurdle, like I get that, but
It is one extra thing you have to
one
do.
extra things, but at the same time, that's why I exclusively pretty much listen to things off my phone.
Me too.
So to me, it's like an
Yeah.
automatic before
Yeah.
I even get my car started. I go, what am I going to listen to on this ride? How I'll even do it so much as I'll look and say, okay, I only have 10 minutes left on the family. Then, okay, what I'm going to play next kind of thing.
You're a planner.
Yeah. Have you met me?
I am not. I'm like,
I know you are.
halfway
They're all
down.
bad plans, but you know,
the halfway down the road, like, let's put some.
Oh, I am like,
change it.
I am such. You should see my actual planner. Like, it's great. I am such a planner. That's why I try to like get the most out of everything. Like, I'm like, if Justin's like, I'm going here, and I go, tell me exactly where you're going because I need this picked up, and then we'll do. And he's like, calm down. I just want to go to the post office and come back. And I'm like, well, if you do this, you can also hit up Costco.
we do
and this
that.
and that.
If we're gonna go out, it's like, there's a UPS store over there. We got to return. Let's drop that off on the way.
Yeah.
Why not?
I should mention, by the way, because I think I try to always do this. You do need to understand, yes, there was a period where it was horrible and I hated most of the people I worked with and blah, 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 blah. But I cannot tell you how grateful I was in 1986 that Dave Hamilton called me. It was like a magical 37 years. It was unbelievable. I am the luckiest man. And I'm trying to tell people that, bad things happen to you, but if you want to dwell on those, that's your business.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather dwell on the fact, like, look at all the great friends I made. Jeff Hassel just walked in last Friday.
Oh, that was so fun.
Just walked in the door. I love that man. He's a wonderful human being. You look back at all the people. Marky Rose and I are still really, really good friends.
Yeah.
Dan Culhane, you couldn't find a nicer man than Dan Culhane. So I am way, 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 way more grateful for having worked that job than I am pissed off about all the assholes I had to deal with at the end.
There was something there's so exciting about that first big break.
It was wonderful.
You'll never get that excitement back.
No, there's no doubt that you're right.
I still remember when I decided, like, I kind of eased into it because I was doing overnights and then overnights and phones. When you asked me formally if I would come back to the morning show, we were bowling. And I remember how excited I was. And I couldn't even concentrate on bowling because you're like, hey, we really want you back on the show.
I was lying, though.
I really want you back on the show. Would you be willing to do it? And I was selling shoes at the time. And I kind of imagined my life without radio. And that was one of those very formal. I remember calling my mom, and my mom was like, that's so exciting because it was very formal, whatever. And watching AJ get this full-time gig and how excited he was.
We're going to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell him that.
At least he had 1 week of excitement.
Maybe you'll get a chapter in the book next to all the other people you got fired.
Yeah, all the other ones. That's exactly right.
No, I quit. That's why they call me Quitney. I quit all the time.
Quitney. You know that some people didn't get that? Why do you call her Quitney? I said, what?
She's quit her job like
her name
4
is
times.
Brittany.
Yeah.
And she's quit. So Quitney.
Yeah.
They couldn't follow along. It's like, what?
My mom loves that nickname.
It's a great name for you.
Because I will quit. If things are bad, I don't want to do them. I will quit.
But see, that's the whole thing. I mean, if you want to sit around, like I said, oh, this sucks and that sucks and everything. Yeah, a lot of things suck for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I would tell you that 95% of my life is phenomenal.
Of course.
It's fantastic.
As it should be.
So you want to hang in there and piss and moan about what assholes people are? People have always been assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people like to, like, if you wrote that 5% that of people that are assholes, like that's what most of the world likes to focus on.
No
like,
doubt
that's
about
like
it.
why the news is all negative. So like that would be the most popular part of your book, is just listing off all the a-holes that you had to work with.
Yeah, you can't even argue that point.
Right.
It's just like, why don't you focus on, look, I wake up and Andy will probably go, oh Christ, this again. But I do every night when I go to bed and every morning when I wake up, I thank God that I met Kathryn. We've been together for 43 years now. It's been unbelievable.
You got about 43 more years of life. You want to switch it up with somebody else?
I'm going to get rid of Kathryn. Get rid of her. No, I'll give you an example. We were down playing a little, I can't remember the name of the game, but it's like a trivia kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
Answering questions and all that stuff. And we were sitting on the couch and Kathryn, put her legs up on top of my leg. I mean, it's just that kind of sweetness.
Aww.
I love that about her.
Gross.
Oh, it's really gross.
You guys are in love. Perverts.
Get a room. You pervert, you touched feet.
I'm in a real, calling people pervert, phase of my life. Justin is not a fan.
He is correct feeling by him.
Tom,
correct feeling.
Tom, that's great. And that's the thing is you just have a really fun life, and I know that Kathryn is a big reason why that your life is fun.
Yeah, but don't tell Andy and Alex.
I wouldn't
tell
ever.
them.
Don't worry, Andy's would never pay attention to
Does
us.
he have his headphones on? I can't see him.
No.
Yep, he does. I can see him now.
There you
No,
go.
I am very grateful for my wife, our children, our grandchildren. The kids came over last night. First thing Fawny did was, "Where's all your Halloween decorations?" So we decorated the house for Halloween last night. She found a black, kind of like velvety skirt and this black hooded. She looked
perfect,
kind of like Dracula.
Yeah, like she was gonna sacrifice Jude for the blood of the October moon kind of vibe.
Exactly right.
Love that for her. I also have to acknowledge that Fawn knows what she wants and will inform you immediately
Oh,
if you
yeah.
are not doing the thing that I would.
Oh God, I'm so happy you brought
Yeah.
that up.
Well, I've heard you tell stories about she sounds like a little mobster just running around,
Oh.
just controlling the family.
She's hilarious, but she gets jokes, which I really like. 'Cause
Oh, it's unbelievable.
She's so funny. Where she was arresting me, and I did like a spin on her, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an undercover cop. Now you're arrested." And we were laughing so hard, taking turns being undercover cops and re-arresting each other. Where like she gets jokes. She gets it.
Absolutely, she does.
Sage
Got a
is at
great
that
sense of
naive
humor.
age where he's a little bit like,
Yep.
"Why? Why
Yeah.
would you arrest me?" And but
Yep.
like Fawn is at that age where she's old enough now to like be in the mix.
Do you remember being too young to get jokes?
Totally.
I do too.
Totally, and being like and not understanding
Mhm.
the this or that, or there's a specific moment somebody bought me a stuffed animal troll.
Mhm.
And it
With the
had
hair, You're a yeah. troll.
yeah, with the hair, but it was like a bigger one, and it had the you could open its little booty like pajama. You know how they had like those like
Oh,
little
yeah.
square
Yep.
back.
Mhm.
And he's like, he came to the house, and he was my dad's friend. So this was a very long time ago. And he was like, I went to buy toilet paper in blue paint. Instead, they gave me this. And I remember being like, so confused. Like you didn't notice when they put a troll in the bag? Like it was supposed to be like a fun moment for me. And I remember being like, God, you're kind of an idiot. Like you're dumb.
Yep.
That's
Take everything
nice.
at face value when you're a kid.
Very nice. That's all I have to say. Fawny hit a home run. Oh my God! Friday night, we rented a house. I guess.
Yeah.
We rented a house so we could all stay in it together and all the rest of it.
Super fun.
By the way, there's a house about every 2 feet down in Red Wing that if it were here would be worth about $3 million.
I know. And you don't even realize how big they are.
Oh my God, those houses are huge.
Yeah.
Nothing will like depress / humble you more than going to like a suburb that's like 45 minutes outside of the
Yeah.
cities and seeing these are huge.
Oh
And it's like,
my
that's also like a $200,000 house.
I
out
know,
here that
it's
nobody wants.
ridiculous.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Because I checked all the prices. There was one house that was like 30,000 square feet. And even that one was only like 2.5 million. Here, that house would be
30,000. Yeah.
$10 million
Easily.
minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a house across the street from where we stayed, and the house we stayed in was very nice. But I looked at a house, and I was like, that house has got to be a couple $1 million. I think it was worth like 600,000 or 500,000.
Mhm.
It's like what?
It's like that up north too.
It is. Oh,
You
absolutely.
can get 100 acres for nothing.
So the great moment. So we check in, and there are these sheets that have little ridges on them. I mean, they're not really ridges because when you lie in the sheet, you can't feel it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you can see it. It's kind of a nice design type of thing. Well, she didn't like that. She came downstairs and said, I can't sleep here. And she's totally serious. Like Alex is like, why? She said, well, they got these sheets up there and they got all these like strings on them and all that stuff. And it's like sleeping in an orphan bed.
Oh,
Well,
an orphan bed.
What are you, the Princess and the Pea?
Yeah,
get back up there and
exactly.
go with it.
orphan bed.
Come up with
You
an orphan bed.
Because they watch Disney, and Disney, it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's
everybody
true.
is from an orphan. Like,
Oh,
oh, this
that's
kid's from an
true.
What I
orphanage.
definitely remember, and I still have associations where it's like you see something for the first time in a cartoon, and it's that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, this specific kind of blanket that
Oh,
was in the orphanage in Annie or
Yeah,
something, and she's like, "Well,
totally.
this is an orphan blanket," and 40 years from now,
This
she's going to see
is
that
an orphan
blanket
blanket.
and still think about orphans.
100%. When I was a little kid, the Polar Express. We were watching the Polar
Yeah.
Express.
Oh,
in
I love
school.
it.
Which is a creepy vibe when
I
you
love
watch
it.
I was
it.
going to say,
later.
what do you associate like creepy mannequin men with trains
so,
now?
So I'm sitting in class and there's a scene where like the kid, I think like the boy is telling the girl like he doesn't celebrate Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he must be Jewish because like I had a Jewish friend. They don't celebrate Christmas, they celebrate Hanukkah. And I got detention for it because the whole class thought I was like making fun of Jews. Like roars and like laughter. And the teacher is horrified.
I would have thought the same thing when I was a kid.
Like,
Absolutely.
I was like in the principal's office, like, well, so like Jewish people, they don't celebrate Christmas, and I just don't filter my thoughts. And I yelled this out. But yeah, no. So
was the principal pretty nice about it? Was like,
oh no, I definitely still got detention.
Oh really?
But yeah, no.
Good. You should have been fired.
Well,
right out of the school.
My like not high school, like middle school principal, she made me cut my afro because it was a distraction. Like looking back, I probably could have like got some money or
Did
like
you have
sued
this
or
one?
something. Oh, it was huge.
I knew it.
It was huge.
That's a bummer.
I was inspired. I was inspired because Carl, who worked at Dairy Queen, he was in high school. He was
Carl.
like one of the only other black kids in my town, and he worked at Dairy Queen drive-through, and he would deliver like when he handed you the blizzard, he would have to stick his whole head out, and you would see just a massive afro. And I was like, I want to be just like Carl. So I grew my hair out. Yeah.
The massive afro.
I bet that was beautiful. Like, I mean, it's like one of those things where you go, that's so cool that you felt confident because you obviously stuck out already. And then to stick out more, you must go, hey, I'm leaning into it. It bums me out that they were like, cut it.
Oh, because well, like Lil Bow Wow was like popular when around the time. And I was like, I want cornrows like Lil Bow Wow. I told my mom, I was like, if you ever die, which I don't want you to, but if you and dad die,
good to know.
Can I please go live with Lil Bow Wow and his family in Ohio? And she said yes.
You can try.
Yeah, she said yes, but I don't think she actually made that phone call.
All right. Full disclosure. Our wedding photo. And I don't know why the hell I ever did this. Kathryn said, you should do something with your hair for the wedding photo.
Oh, it's out there in the world, by the way.
Be.
I got the afro.
Where? Look.
It is the most ridiculous picture. I literally looked like somebody's uncle who was dying. I mean, honestly,
what does that mean?
I don't know. I felt like I was I looked like I was about 1,000 years old.
So one of our listeners has it, and they send it every time you talk about it.
I need this.
They sent my wedding picture.
Oh yeah, they have it.
They do
because you had it somewhere, like on a news report or something, or something you did. I've seen it
with an afro.
I've seen it, and I don't know why.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna make that was before you were born.
Well, I would hope. I mean, I thought that chronologically.
That was before I got married.
You've probably seen it, Andy.
Maybe. I don't remember an afro.
It's like afro is there was a perm. It was a perm. It was not an afro.
Well, no, at one point it was an afro, but then I cut it. And it was a perm.
Yeah, the big.
It was always permed because that's how it got volume.
Yeah, it was always exactly. It's exactly right.
Permed and feathered.
Did you find it?
You can't Google search it. I'm
trying
to
find it.
I typed in Tom Barnard wedding photo. And Tom Brady's wedding photo.
Tom Brady, there you go.
I might be. I might even have it saved somewhere because I was like,
well, his mom and my mom were born in the same town. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Browerville, Minnesota. I'd be a phenomenal quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be,
but I'm not saying you would be either.
Yeah.
No question. All right, we should probably take a break here, huh?
I would say so.
We'll take a break. Kristen Burt will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
It's Tommy B for Killebrew Root Beer and Cream Soda. Normally, I'd be saying the boys of summer are done and it's time for root beer floats with the kids after football or soccer practice. But with your Win Twins Minnesota Twins still in the playoffs, it might be time for some adult sweet beverages to cheer on our hometown team made with delicious gluten-free Killebrew root beer, of course. Might I recommend you consider this recipe for your Killebrew root beer rum creams? You just need 3 ingredients. It starts with black spice rum, then add frothy cold Killebrew root beer next, a drop of Bailey's. Oh my gosh, you found October heaven in a glass. Whether you watch at home or at Target Field or just take it in the fall colors, try the root beer and cream soda my family absolutely loves. Killebrew. Head to KillebrewRootBeer.com for your nearest store and pick up a 6-pack or a case. Herbie, you're up to bat.
There's only one old-fashioned root beer that delivers that Hall of Fame taste to thirsty fans everywhere. Take it from me, Ken Herbeck, Killebrew. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, a little information.
Little Kristen.
I'm looking right at her.
A lot of Kristen.
Right now, as a matter of fact.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Marvelous. I would just like to point out that, about a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, though, that I pointed out something and you all went, oh, my God, you're so wrong. That's a horrible statement. I pointed out because there's somebody bitching about racism in America again, like they always just love to do. So I pointed out that, of course, the Eastern Hemisphere is by far more racist than we are, particularly Africa and that little land bridge that leads over to another area, let's say the Middle East, we'll just call it. Gee, guess who was right? Huh?
You talking about the Israel-Palestine thing?
I certainly am. There's no doubt about it. I mean, honest to God, the hatred that goes on over there. You know what amazes me most about that, though? So we got Hamas is fighting the Jews now, and it's only because they're Jews. It's a completely racist position to be taking. But nobody talks about that, of course. But the other thing about that just amazes me, the whole thing, is that there are people in America that are supporting Hamas against the Jews. What the hell? You can look it up. There are people that support Hamas in America.
Well, there's a lot of people who are anti-Israel.
Why? To the point that you want them to be bombed?
I'll step in because a lot of people in Hollywood stepped into it this weekend. I think a lot of people really don't understand the very complex, decades and decades and decades long situation that has gone on there.
Right.
And understanding that the violence has come from both sides. That is fact.
Mm-hmm.
Palestine and Israel have both done it to each other. Hamas I'm going to call it a terrorist group. And they don't represent the citizens of Palestine. They don't represent the citizens of Israel.
Right.
And I think that people need to do maybe just a little bit of research before stepping into it, making a statement, and really, truly understanding who the victims of this entire thing are.
Right.
Yeah, there's no actual official declaration of war from Palestine. It's just a bunch
I thought they
of
did
people.
declare war yesterday.
No, I believe it's just Hamas went in and decided to start killing people.
Oh, because I had heard on a news report last night that they actually did declare war.
No, Israel declared war on Hamas, I believe.
Oh, it's the other way around.
Informal war. You can't declare war on a terrorist group because it's not a nation, but you know what I mean.
True.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how America never technically declared war on the Viet Cong. We just might as well have.
No, that's exact. So, yeah, they may as well have done what we were talking about there, but so it's the other way. It was that they're saying that Israel declared war on Hamas.
There's a state of war is what they said.
Oh, a state of war. Yeah. Well,
whatever that means.
Well, yeah, whatever that does mean.
And, those images were brutal to watch this weekend.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was devastating. All of those women and children, I don't know. It just hurt my heart so much just watching even small slices of it. Can you imagine what it's like in real life?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And there's like obviously like American citizens that were, whatever, vacationing or over there working that are trapped over there. There was a Lions player that after the game he was getting interviewed and he was like, I honestly just need to go find my phone because his family, like during the game, his family was over there in Israel. He's like, I can't even think about, like, I don't even care about football right now. I gotta make sure my family's okay. I think it was
it makes our small problems here seem even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is what I told you guys a week ago, and you all start barking at me.
No, sometimes you talk out of turn, Tom, and I'll call you out on it.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about
That's
when
what it is.
you're talking with Tevin and Kristen, but what was it?
Yeah, it wasn't about Israel. I don't even remember what it was.
It wasn't. We weren't.
What?
For sure, we weren't talking Israel.
The hell we weren't. I was talking about Africa and the Middle East. I said that
the
very
Eastern
directly.
Hemisphere is, 90% of the land mass of the planet or something like that.
But I specifically said Africa, and I specifically stated this area.
Find the tape and we can go back and revisit.
Oh my God!
We don't have
Get away
access
from me,
to
all
that.
of
What
you.
is this, a recorded show?
All of you, get away from me. That's all I'm saying. Backstabbers.
We're gonna pull the audio. I got you.
I was
We'll bring it
right.
up
You were
tomorrow.
wrong. That's all I know. You're all dead wrong. Typical. I don't know. The whole thing is just disgusting to me. How many hundreds and hundreds, or maybe thousands by now, people have died.
I don't think they have an accurate count, honestly. I think like there was a music festival going on and they thought about 250 people passed away there.
Yep.
I mean, unfortunately, they were sitting ducks because they were in an open field.
Yep.
And they came over the airspace and then and by land too. I mean, it just was, it's hard to believe in 2023 when we see these images, like this is actually happening in this world.
I couldn't agree more. This still goes on. This is because it's been going on since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
The struggles in Israel have been going on, and Africa have been going on since. What?
Purple
haze flow through my brain.
What is happening?
She's got to mute her.
Oh,
I did. The computer.
No, the volume is up. Someone turned the volume up.
It sounded like an emergency broadcast system, like last Wednesday when it well went.
I'm
God,
not using
Alex.
I'm not using the right. No one. I don't know how to do any of this. I'm
What do you
just
think
trying
that
to
was?
figure it
Is that
out.
like an orphan computer?
Is it an orphan? Did you tell
so
this
funny.
story?
I did. I love
Did
that
you
story.
say the rag part first?
No, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Well, okay. It's not that exciting.
It's very funny.
But she wanted to get a blanket that my mom brought, and she was like, I was like, well, Bob's going to use that blanket. She's like, well, these are like rags. This is like an orphan's bed.
What? A monster of a human.
I blame the book Madeline.
I was gonna. We were actually talking about that.
They look
That's
like
true.
the beds
Yes.
in Madeline.
We were
Just
talking
like
about
a white
that.
sheet. It's not puffy. It's simple. I'm
Too
like,
much Annie.
like seeing Annie.
this
I'm
new-
like, it's like the quintessential
Oliver.
I mean, I get it. I get it. She
it's-
wasn't totally off base.
The neutral palette that this Airbnb set up did not know they were going to put out Madeline vibes.
No.
Doesn't she know that it's millennial gray and beige or gray?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Agreeable gray. That's the name of the color that every wall in every house is painted at the moment. Agreeable gray. Yep.
That sounds
What does that mean?
fancy.
It's like the most bland, inoffensive shade of gray that exists. It's agreeable.
When are people going to stop with that ass kissing? I even have to paint my house properly. What? Shut up.
It's like a science that they did where you can
Yeah.
walk into a house and imagine putting your own stuff in it. So then the realtors paint it that way because they want you to be able to go, oh, my stuff would go so great
Yeah,
with
it's
this
like
everything.
a blank canvas.
It's Chip and Joanna Gaines' influence on the entire
That too.
flipping house industry.
Yeah.
And because they became so popular and renovated an entire town, it's unbelievable. If I see shiplap in one more house,
Oh yeah.
I'm going to die.
Islands, kitchen islands specifically. They put an island in every kitchen they could.
I mean, you gotta have.
How are
an
you
island.
anti-kitchen island?
An island is amazing. Shiplap is very trendy and limited.
It's like
Shiplap
a
sucks.
It's like horizontal wood bars on the walls.
It's like
Kinda.
modern country,
But
is the vibe.
So there's tongue and groove. There's like certain things. Shiplap is just literally
It's hot.
Put these boards on this wall.
Yeah, it's like a vinyl. It's like a vinyl, not vinyl, but it's like the wood planking, but it's on the wall.
Wood panel. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
wood
like wood
paneling
paneling,
type
except
stuff.
it's horizontal instead of vertical.
Yeah.
They're the ones who brought modern farmhouse and made it chic. And literally in California, it's the trend is already on its way down. But what they did was take every beautiful mid-century modern ranch home with an open floor plan, knock it down, and build modern farmhouse in its stead. And it's really sad.
I'll tell you what, though, you know how like we all loved open concept so hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
When the pandemic hit, me and my sister were talking about like, man, I wish I had a bunch of little rooms right now to put people in. I'm so sick of us sitting all
go in
together
your
in these
own.
or like listening to someone on a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zoom conferences, I'd be like, oh my God, lower your volume.
I'd be like, can we have just put one little room in here for you, please?
Yeah, our house is like a mixture. We got a big open main area and then a bunch of little rooms around it, which I like.
I like that.
That's a good thing. So what is it?
Shiplap.
Shiplap.
So it
Essentially,
looks
it's
like you're in like a wooden.
Right. It's essentially like being
Modern
in a wooden
farmhouse.
ship, but you put it on your wall. So like the boards would go on.
Why?
It's like you're living in a box.
It's because somebody on TikTok probably told everybody that it was cool, and now we all put it in
Well,
our house.
Chip and Joanna Gaines told everybody on Discovery that it was
It's
the
how
coolest thing ever.
barns were built for ages, and then eventually people started like putting bedrooms and stuff in barns, and then got used to like, oh, this is what a bedroom looks like, and now that's what they make their house look like.
It's all about a vibe. And they
Yes,
want their
it's a
vibe,
vibe
to be
thing.
like, we at any point an animal could walk by
Mhm,
you.
exactly.
The
You
Gaines
never know.
transformed Waco, Texas,
Yep.
and made it a tourist destination, and everything is kind of designed in that style.
Yep.
And to me, like Waco is where David Koresh and the cult is,
Right.
but they
Right.
transformed an entire area.
That was a great two-part series. That Waco.
Mhm. Yeah.
That thing,
Fabulous.
Aftermath, I think was the second one. That
Uh,
was a really, really good show.
I'll tell you what, I do feel like when people do it well, it looks great. It's just not my vibe. But I don't like people have a touch to it where I go, all right, and when they mix some of those themes together, it looks good.
Yeah, it's like the same way that I could go into a modern house and be like, oh, this is really cool. I would never want this to be my house.
Do you
but,
even
like,
care
This is nice.
what your kids, what the age they're at right now, like what your vibe is?
Absolutely.
I couldn't
I have
care
no
less.
vibe.
I don't have
There's
a vibe.
no
my
vibe.
My vibe is like, please don't be sticky when I
Yeah,
touch the
pretty
counter,
much.
and
Like,
it is.
Can it be
But that's
remotely?
the vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, our
This is
vibe is hand-me-down furniture.
Your vibe is hand me down. You walk into your
Yeah.
house and you're like, this was all given to them.
Yep, sure was.
Nothing like
Oh,
goes together. And it's
I
like,
have a-
oh, you have a grandfather clock? And
That's
this
what
is
they
like-
call shabby chic. Shabby chic.
Shabby chic.
Just
It's not shabby.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
No.
kind of a rough term.
It's
Shabby chic is legitimately a style, and it is a Hollywood style. Look it up.
Oh, good. We're on the
Actually,
forefront.
Fawn just texted me. She said orphan vibe.
Orphan
Orphan
vibes.
vibe.
Orphan
vibe.
Is
Orphan chic,
chic,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, orphan chic.
She loves orphan chic.
I just don't, I've never been in anybody's house that had like bare boards hanging on their wall.
We
I've
have
never seen
Sage's room has boards on his wall, but it's not shiplap.
that. Oh, I've never even noticed it.
Yeah.
Board and batten.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
I don't know what the hell.
Don't worry about
I
it.
like paint. Put a little paint. up
I
there.
like
Wallpaper is now a vibe.
But
love-
Fawn
is
has
wallpaper coming
wallpaper.
back?
Fawn has
Go.
wallpaper.
Wallpaper
in
is
her
like
room.
huge. Printed wallpaper is all the vibe right now if you're really into decor.
Yeah,
We have
Go-Go's.
wallpaper in our.
We grew up with
living room.
wallpaper.
Yeah.
Well, that was like
absolutely.
80s wallpaper.
It was all 80s. Well, every wall had wallpaper on it.
Yep.
The
And then everyone took it
border.
down and painted, and now
Yep.
everyone's back to wallpaper. It's just cyclical.
It's so dumb.
Don't hang it yourself. You'll end your marriage.
No,
I was gonna
God,
say,
no.
Dan.
We almost ended our marriage.
Oh yeah, you don't do it together.
Yeah, we
Dan
did.
just did it on his own when I was out of town, and I came back and he was like, "It was terrible."
Didn't go well.
Did not go well. And we did the pick was it stick and peel or the peel
Oh,
and
peel
stick?
and stick. Yeah.
And you can't really adjust it.
No, it has to be
Once you put
perfectly
it
straight
on.
the first time. No bubbles, no
But
anything, or else
walls
it's
aren't
ruined.
straight.
No,
So
they're not.
they say that the only time to use it, we found out after we bought it, it was like, $200 and something to get this giant wallpaper in. It's beautiful. But we called the lady because I was like, after we put in one, and I go, this is terrible. Like our marriage will not handle this.
The
And-
marriage collapses over that.
And so I called the lady. I go, hey, can we pay you to put those? She goes, I'd love to. Like, what kind of whatever? Oh, it's peel and stick? No, I don't do that.
No.
I was like, what? So we had to end up we made it work. But oh my God, we said one panel a day kind of vibe because our
Yeah.
Wow.
I was super
Yeah.
pregnant and I love my husband, but we were not meant to do wallpaper together.
I don't think anybody is.
Also, I looked up shabby chic, and I've never been inside Andy's house, but I promise his house does not look like what they are pulling up on shabby chic. It does.
Oh no, not anything. This is what I imagine grandma chic.
This looks like he would if you live in this house, you collect Victorian dolls.
Exactly.
So,
It's what grandmas live like.
Yes.
Exactly.
Shabby chic is actually more like, I would say, coastal grandma. That's probably a more modern term for it.
Yeah, like I would be into
I could
shabby
see
chic.
you
100%.
If you didn't have children or Dan, this would be your house.
There are so many times where I'm like, Dan,
I know.
if you would allow me to just like live my truth, I would be like one of those mega Halloween people with like all the crap in my yard.
You and I, when Dan and Justin die, if we just live together like
It's
this,
gonna be-
oh my God.
You're living your best Golden Girls life.
Exactly.
Shabby chic covered in Halloween decorations.
Yes. And Christmas.
I'm like that for Christmas. I'm like so excited. I went into Costco. The trees are up. I'm like, I cannot wait.
Yes.
We got it covered. You start with Andy's birthday on the 26th of October. Then it's Ethan and my birthday on the 7th of November. Then it's Thanksgiving. We literally
But
go.
it's my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah,
we go from mid-October until
Justin's in there too somewhere.
I'm December 3rd.
Oh, there you go.
The fall.
Fine.
So good.
October to December is a very busy time of year for us.
It is.
Oh my gosh, this house has a pink roof. Sorry.
It's so good.
I Googled shabby chic.
I get used to people trampling me on this show.
You couldn't.
I'm here to
Listening.
deliver all the West Coast styles to you guys in the Midwest.
Is there anything you don't do? You're educating us on how to decorate houses, what to watch on TV. Like,
Well, a lot of the home decor shows kind of cross over into entertainment.
Yeah.
So, we have had even like scandals in the home decorating space and everything else. So you just always have to kind of like follow who the hot designers are.
There was a couple. There was one couple. They had like a super messy divorce. What were they?
You're thinking of Tarak El Musa.
Yep.
Yes.
Tarak El Musa?
Yep.
Tarak El Musa is his name. And then his wife is now Christina Hall because she's on her third marriage. So Christina divorced Tarak, and then she married this guy, Ant Anstead. And then they had a baby and divorced within like a year or so. And now she's with this other guy, Josh Hall. So she's on her third marriage in like, say, 7 to 10 years of being famous. So it's been a lot of name changes. Ant Anstead is now engaged to Renee Zellweger, randomly, like out of the blue. And Tarak is now married to she calls herself Heather. It used to be Heather Ray from Selling Sunset, but she's now Heather El Musa, and they had a kid. So there are like kids everywhere, blended families. Christina doesn't really talk to Tarak. Ant doesn't talk to Christina. Ant is friends with Tarak. It is just such a strange blended family situation.
What a mess.
Yeah.
And they're all basically in the decorating or renovation type of space.
Look at all I learned today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here
you
to
can go to a
educate.
dinner party and talk about so many different subjects.
Vital information for your everyday life.
hopefully the next Barnard grandchild can be named Tarak or
Yeah,
what was that
Tarak.
one?
Andy, that's up to you.
How about Ant? Ant Bernard.
His full name
Bernard.
can't be Ant. It's got to be like Anthony or something, right?
Possibly. He's British. So Ant, I feel like, is definitely
Anton. Probably like Anton.
You think
What
it's
is his
Ant?
name?
That's
Ant
British.
what?
That feels
Ant
Ant
Anstead.
Anstead. A-N-T.
Yep, Anthony. Yep, I was right.
Anthony.
damn.
Anthony Richard Anstead.
There you go. But they call him Ant.
You go Anth.
I have a friend who had a boyfriend named Anthony, and she called him Ant, and I was like,
Brittany really liked that
Brittany
one.
She's vomiting in her bottle right now.
as
Almost
she's
took a
drinking.
sip of water and almost spit it all over Tom when he said he called him Anth.
Ant.
Ant.
How you doing, Anth? Yeah, whatever works. So what's coming on? Anything coming on television I should be looking forward to?
This week is the return of Frasier, and I saw the first two
Yeah.
preview episodes that are debuting Thursday on Paramount Plus, and it is a delight.
Who's
I
in
cannot
it?
believe I am saying that on a reboot.
Just Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, he's the only one in it.
No one else, right?
Well, there are going to be some returns. Bebe Neuwirth will return as Lilith.
Right. She's going to be in like a
A
cameo.
few episodes. Well, there's going to be a few episodes because their son is in it, Freddie.
Freddie, yeah, but
So
it's not
there is going to
Freddie
be some-
from the original show. It's a new actor,
It's
right?
a new, yeah, it's an adult, it's an adult Freddy. But and you know, you won't see David Hyde Pierce or
Jane leaves. John Mahoney,
Daphne leaves. Daphne leaves is not returning. Or
okay.
Jane leaves as Daphne is
leaves
not
as Daphne
returning
Moore.
either.
I
And
loved
if
her.
you
I loved her.
remember, she married David
Niles.
Hyde Pierce at the end of the series.
Yep.
So
And they had a kid. And I think their kid is in the new show as well to some degree.
to some degree, but
It's
not
very
fully.
strange. I
So
don't
there's-
know. I'm skeptical.
There's ties to the past, and I think what people will like, because Frasier moved to Chicago at the end of the series. He's back in Boston where he started out on Cheers. So there's going to be threads of what people are familiar with, but it doesn't go like, hey, let's go and get Norm, you know, or where's Sam and Diane, like that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's actually, in watching the first 2 episodes, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's actually kind of familiar and comfortable. And I think that's what makes it work, because they didn't try and reinvent the wheel with all of this.
Well, yeah, but we're expecting more Frasier, right? So that's
Yeah, you're
give us
expecting
more
Frasier, and this is the character that Kelsey Grammer played so well. He hasn't abandoned it. He hasn't really tried to like modernize Frasier too much or anything else like that. He is that same sort of curmudgeonly, uptight character that we all know and sort of love. But I think the show is sharply written. It's by the original producers, so they understand where Frasier came from and where he's going.
Huh.
Why is David Hyde Pierce not in it?
None of them wanted to. I don't know why.
Want to do it?
They haven't really said exactly. They just said they're not interested. Basically,
He was always my favorite. On
Niles. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I was
hard
like
to
Niles.
imagine Frasier without Niles.
Yeah, that's true.
But believe it or not, it actually works. So I highly recommend watching the first 2 episodes. I was actually glad when I got the preview episodes. I'm like, do I want to watch this? And I was surprised at how good it was.
Did they do like a Will and Grace reboot where they ignore completely how they ended the first part? And
No,
then
it's a
just
continuation. It's a nice continuation. You kind of like get the threads of like where Frasier ended in 2004 and carried him to now. So
Same song.
2004. God,
That was 20 years ago.
yeah,
it
almost.
was.
God.
Is it
That's
the same
ridiculous.
song that
Boom, ba boom.
The
boom, ba-doo,
toss
ba-doo,
salad
ba-doo,
and
ba-doo.
scrambled
Yep.
Scrambled eggs.
yeah.
My
What?
my press copies don't include credits or beginning. I get all of like the rough copies. I know when
We'll
we
all
get
work through it.
press, they're always like, you know, the colorization hasn't been finished. The songs aren't, you know, all in. So, and you know, the commercial breaks aren't there, obviously either.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. So David Hyde Pierce, is he doing anything now?
He's been on Broadway continuously over the last few
okay.
decades. It's a very successful career there.
My surprise to find out that he was gay was 0.
No.
What?
David Hyde
Like
Pierce?
after watching,
No.
I barely ever watched Frasier. I just was too young when you were watching it that I was like, this just isn't my
Yeah, 2004.
show.
You would have been 15 when it ended.
Yeah. Like you'd watch it with them, and I just was like, just old people
I was
yelling at
super
each
into
other.
Frasier
I
by
don't
the
know.
end, yeah.
But I was always like, I like Niles, and I'm like, oh, he's gay. That's fine.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
That's
I
totally
think John
lines up.
Mahoney also might have been.
John Mahoney.
He was
John
the dad.
Mahoney passed away in 2018.
Yeah, he died a while ago, but yeah.
You think
There's I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a really nice tribute to him in the show too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you'll see it, but I'll let you guys discover it for yourselves. But
about-
I love that they did that.
Did they bring up Eddie?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, Eddie. There's been talk there like Eddie was an actor on the show, even though he was obviously the dog.
Moose and Enzo.
Yep, and Enzo was Moose's son,
Yep, sure was.
which I think is like so fun. But
Mhm.
you'll definitely hear references to both of them.
All right, young lady, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
I will be here.
Sounds great. Thank you, Kristen Burt. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back right after this.
This is the Tom Bernard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Bernard Show app.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
All right, we're going to have a vote.
Oh, dear.
The four of you are going to vote on this. So it could end up in a tie. So then I'll be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Should I read this story or not based on the headline? Okay.
Okay.
Bay Area restaurants institute penalty for brunch vomiters.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have thoughts in the
Andy, you going to close it out with all four?
Andy, let me just say this. Bottomless mimosas.
Yeah, that's
bottomless mimosas.
Yeah, that's the reason for not like some
The
weird
brunch
allergy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked at places that serve bottomless mimosas, and their 1,000% should be a charge for throw up.
Oh,
Dad wrecked his camera, by the way.
That's okay.
I don't
Oh,
care.
where'd
We
you
don't
go?
care.
I don't care.
Where'd
It's
you
fine.
go? I missed
I was looking up other.
I'll fix it between shows.
Okay.
Anyway, I was on a path there, and then somebody started talking and changed the subject. So what were you talking about?
You're gonna do
Brunch.
the headline for the throw up brunch. People.
No, it's too late. The story's been ruined.
No, you already read the headline.
No.
And now you're reading the story.
It's all been ruined. It's all horrible and
Hey,
horrendous.
okay, I'll Google it and I'll read it.
There's a reason we revere brunch. You revere brunch?
I
Yes.
freaking love brunch.
I like
Who doesn't?
brunch, I've never been a
Best
huge
meal of the
hater.
day. If I could eat brunch every day, I'd be
Oh my-
thrilled.
Thank you. Yes. Let's go to brunch sometime.
Let's all go have
My
brunch.
God. There's a reason we revere brunch. We look forward to unpacking the work week with friends over decadent egg dishes, syrup-laden pancakes, and the requisite mimosa. We give ourselves permission to indulge in extra bacon and maybe even a second champagne cocktail. See, I just have no interest in any of this.
Okay, but just get to the point where this restaurant. So the restaurant is implementing. They're having a problem with bottomless mimosas and people vomiting.
Yeah.
And now they are saying they're having a controversial, like financial penalty if you throw up at brunch because it's
That is
happening
fair
so
enough.
often.
Why would you feed someone so much alcohol they vomit?
That's
Well,
where
the
the
thing.
real
It's,
issue is.
it's
'Cause-
like 9:00 in the morning. And you're drinking a combination of orange juice and alcohol. It's just like the worst idea possible.
Sounds bad.
And so like I worked at Union where they would have like drag brunches, which had bottomless mimosas, which everybody's just
What's a drag brunch?
Oh
it's
no.
like, are you familiar with the drag show?
So they literally come in dressed in drag?
Oh yeah, it sounds
really.
It's really fun.
It's very
super fun.
bizarre, but it is the most fun. Like if
Is
you
it
find
really?
if you find like because they'll be themed, so if you find a theme that like you enjoy, like they do like Cardi B, Taylor Swift, whatever, and if you find the right theme, it's a great time. But anyway,
Really?
yeah.
What's it?
It's a drag brunch.
unbelievable.
It's put on
Drag
by
brunch.
Flip Phone. It's like a local company that started just doing drag brunches.
Yeah, and they
There
do them
you
all
go.
over the
Yep.
place.
It's a performance.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Oh,
the
yeah, okay.
outfits, the hair,
Mhm.
the everything. It's pretty enjoyable. But yeah, you were saying
But yeah,
what
sorry,
happens
they do
when-
like drag, but like people like because they drink so many bottomless mimosas are throwing up in like the bathrooms and stuff. So they're
Why
gonna.
would you want to do that? I don't
Well, I
get
mean,
it.
you don't have to drink to that point,
No,
but
you
you
don't.
can.
But
Like,
people
I think
do.
there should
I
be a
think you
charge if
have
you
to.
throw up.
that's why I had to quit drinking because I had to.
I had to vomit.
There's
I
no
had to drink
stopping.
until I vomit. I'll tell you this though. You think that brunch is the solution. You go, I'm going to eat this fatty food and have this little hair of the dog kind of moment.
No.
You always walk away going, this was not the solution I was looking for.
Not a
for
plan.
but for a small window of time when you're sitting there laughing with your girlies and your gays and you're going, this is lovely, I'm having a great time. And then your whole day is ruined. And you will take a nap at 2, wake up at 4 and hate your life.
It sounds bad.
But I mean, you're out on a patio somewhere, you're drinking some mimosas, it's
Dang.
sun shining, it's good.
It is a vibe.
Never had one.
Brunch?
No, mimosa.
He has. I was going to say, if he says I've never had brunch,
I've
can
had brunch,
refute
but I've
that.
never
All
had
the
a
time.
mimosa.
Mimosa, I don't know.
I've had
sure I've sipped.
mimosas.
It's orange juice and champagne,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
little
It's not
overrated.
really my thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have a Bellini if you're going to ask me, but
Bologna?
bologna.
Believe me.
But what's in a
Bellini?
Bellini?
It's champagne, peach
Oh,
puree, and it's like there's more to it.
Mhm.
So it's
Huh.
more. It feels more fancy than just like I put some orange juice and champagne.
Oh.
in
How about a
it.
beer? How about that?
Yeah.
That good?
How about Four Loco?
There's
Four Loco. There you go.
Bloody Mary with a beer back. That's a brunch thing.
Oh, it's
Bloody
time.
is it?
Mary, I can
Oh,
see
okay.
drinking for brunch.
I was never a
little.
bar drinker. I
All-
just didn't like
Neither.
drinking in bars.
All
Me
these drinks too, you have to imagine they put the lowest grade alcohol
Well,
in.
yeah, of
Oh.
course.
So you're gonna
yeah,
feel
the
like
champagne you're getting at a
hell.
bottomless mimosa brunch, like it costs probably like $1 for that
Yeah,
bottle.
Great.
exactly.
No wonder they vomit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's
It's just
the problem, really.
It's rubbing
What are you gonna
alcohol
do?
and seltzer water.
Yeah. But I mean, for the story, does it say how much
Man
they
is
charged?
here.
Yeah, I want. Yeah,
Yeah, what's the charge for vomiting?
I'm gonna tell you if it's
Um,
worth it. Alcoholic Brittany will tap into her brain.
It's like what's
Let me see. Dear all mimosa lovers, please drink responsibly and know your limits. A $50 cleaning fee.
$50?
Actually, it says a $50 cleaning fees will automatically include in your tap. What? This is the worst written note I've ever seen.
$50. Is it worth it? That's a
No.
little more expensive than I thought. If it would have been 20, I would say, "Yep, that's not a big deal. Throw it on the tab."
Mm,
50
well,
bucks.
I mean, they're probably trying to make it more of a deterrent of vomiting
Right.
than
Yeah,
like
of
make it
course.
easy to clean up after
But
the
wouldn't
vomit.
you have somebody who knows how to write?
Well,
Listen
yeah,
to this.
it
This
seems
is
like the
now.
article's written very poorly.
Please drink responsibly and know your limits. A $50 cleaning fees will automatically include in your tap when you
That's
throw up
pretty
in
bad
public
written.
areas. What? You mean tab?
I've been moonlighting as a writer.
Oh, it had to be you. I knew it.
Yeah, a
was you.
$50 fees will automatically include in your tap sounds. It's very ESL.
Wait,
It really is not good.
so are they putting that in? That's only if you vomit, correct? Like they're not
Yes.
just putting that in
Yeah.
for everybody.
Everyone has
No
to
one
pay
would go there if they did
Sometimes like they're like, "Hey, we've been having a lot of theft here, so we've been including this in
That's
fees."
true.
So
Yeah,
part of me got a little
Jesus.
nervous.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
All right,
All right,
that's
do we
going to do
want
it,
to? So we got a new transition between shows.
which is good.
So I'm going to hit this. We're going to play that just like before.
All right.
And then we're going to go out.
Back
We're going to
in
go
5
into an ad break. And then we're going to go right into it.
Okay. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you successful, someone you can
I
trust.
don't know where that is.
Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation.
Every single morning.
Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation.
That thing makes
You've
me
got
look
nothing
so
to lose,
white.
and you'll get a different point of view from
Makes it like wave for me. That would be great.
925-5608.
There we go.
925-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involved. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute. Tom Barnard is your paid endorser.
Super copy me for Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Normally, I'd be saying the boys this summer done. It's time for root beer floats with the kids after football or soccer practice. But with your Win Twins Minnesota Twins still in the playoffs, it might be time for some adult sweet beverages to cheer on our hometown team, made with delicious gluten-free Killebrew root beer, of course. Might I recommend you consider this recipe for your Killebrew root beer rum creams? You just need 3 ingredients. It starts with black spice rum, then add frothy cold Killebrew root beer next, a drop of Bailey's. Oh my gosh, you found October heaven in a glass. Whether you watch at home or at Target Field or just take it in the fall colors, try the root beer and cream soda my family absolutely loves. Killebrew. Head to killebrewrootbeer.com for your nearest store and pick up a 6-pack or a case. Herbie, you're up to bat.
There's only one old-fashioned root beer that delivers that Hall of Fame taste to thirsty fans everywhere. Take it from me, Ken Herbeck, Killebrew. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop-boop. Somebody's always got to do that. If somebody doesn't, then the show isn't really
Sing
real.
along with the music.
Welcome to the family with
Alex Bernard Rasmussen, co-host Kathryn Brandt.
Tevin Pittman.
Andy Brant Bernard.
All right, is Kostaki ready to go?
He sure is.
Kostaki.
Hey, guys.
There he is.
Hey.
Look
Morning.
at you. You look like a grown-up.
I know. No hat today. See?
No hat. He's a grown-up finally. Like all these years later. Kostaki, what's happening, Pally?
Hey, it's good to talk to you guys. This is nice.
Nice
So we
to
got
talk
a
to
whole
you.
new construct with you going to transition in and out of the two shows now. This is
One thing's
Yeah, because
consistent about us is change.
we're setting up microphones and all that stuff during the show, and it just sounded terrible.
right.
Indeed.
My Falcons won. They're just good enough. They're like the third to the last year of a marriage. Like that, this is fine.
Oh,
Third to the last year.
Third to the
one
last
thing I
year.
didn't mention to you yet, I was going to call you before the show started. The only word you cannot use is Ikingsvey because they suck more than they ever have sucked. ever.
Okay, I don't know that I would go that far.
They're horrible.
Right. It's not far off.
It does seem like it's been a while since I've called you and they've been this bad, right? It's been a
Mhm.
while. Yeah, I
They're
agree.
horrendous.
But here's the one thing we can agree on. The Patriots sucking is fun to watch, right?
That's true.
They're
You're right.
terrible. The last 2 weeks, the Patriots have been outscored by 69 points. Shout out to Rob Gronkowski. All right, he's happy about that.
That's true.
No
He's
fan
busy
base
doing the-
deserves a downswing for their team like the Patriots fans. I got no sympathy for them. They had 15 straight years, complete domination, terrible division, best quarterback, best coach, and tight end of all time, blah, blah, blah. Now, when I see a little kid in a Patriots jersey, it's hard for me not to run over and scream, "It's over! You missed it!"
Oh,
Very
poor
nice,
kids.
Uncle
Yeah.
Kostaki.
Right. Here's one good thing for Belichick. This season, no one's going to accuse him of cheating. This team does
No.
not look like it's cheating.
No, that's true.
The Patriots got blanked. And I'm just censoring Bill Belichick's post-game comments. That's pretty much what he said.
Really?
No. It's fun to see him crushed to me. It's great. I just love it.
Wow.
What a nice guy you are.
They won so it's enough.
I know.
There's an ebb and a flow to sports
Don't try to
team
justify
fandom.
your cruelty.
No. This is a man who was on top for years and years and years. It's enough. It's enough. When the Patriots are losing, the Belichick cutoff hoodie look goes from quirky to genius to homeless. It's very quickly. I don't know if he still counts as a genius. Can you imagine if Einstein had this much of a drop off at the end? Right? Like
That wouldn't have been good.
no, E equals MC Hammer. He's lost it. I told you it's not.
You're proud of that, aren't you?
Yeah, I enjoyed that joke. Belichick is not looking for help with X's and O's, but I know a few things about X's. I could help him out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I couldn't give them O's, Tom. You see what a joke is?
Hey, I get it all, no question.
X's and O's. All right.
I thought you were only married once before.
Well, technically, yes, but
Technically. So we need to dive
Technically, yes.
deeper into that story.
no. I with Carolina, we were never married, but that was a significant relationship. You know.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Right. I would say New Orleans put a stake in Bill Belichick's heart, but Belichick doesn't have a heart.
Oh God, you are bitter, man. There's no doubt about that.
I would have thought that Super Bowl against Atlanta was yesterday.
Yeah. No, I was rooting against those guys before that. Daniel Jones went out with an injury and a blowout loss. Mac Jones got benched in a blowout. It's actually very easy to keep up with the Joneses this season.
See?
All right, new subject. All right, Broncos wore their snow cap helmets.
What?
Because they had these white helmets. They've never worn white helmets before. I liked them actually.
What?
They called them snow cap because they had a snowball's chance in hell in that game.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Those helmets, they had the old D with the Bronco crawling out of the middle of it. Remember that part of the logo?
Sure.
Yeah, it invokes the Elway era. They didn't win like Elway, but they all ended up with a long face. So that was nice.
See, why the long face? The heart deal. Unbelievable.
Colts signed their star running back this week and then lost their star quarterback. They can't have nice things. It's they've had a tough run. Anthony Richardson's X-rays are negative, and I thought whenever I read that, I still, after all these years, I still read, oh no, they're negative. No, negative is good on X-rays. Oh, okay, good. It's very confusing when they say the X-rays are negative.
Right.
Doctors say there's no reason he can't be back on the field this week and get injured again. This poor guy has got hurt every game. He's got more maladies than the dude on the operation game board.
Oh, see?
Is it water on the knee?
Yes, water on the knee. It's right. It's wonderful. I was trying to think of that. There's a bread basket, right? A sprained bread basket.
Yeah. The bread basket. There's butterflies in the stomach. Something.
Oh, yeah. It's very serious malady. Butterflies. Right.
God.
Yep.
I got to look up a picture of that. Your old boy, Stephon Diggs, grabbed beers from fans last week and smashed them together to celebrate. He was fined $13,659 for unsportsmanlike conduct because they don't have a party foul. What kind of crazy rule is that?
Yeah, to him, that 13 grand is really going to hurt, huh?
Yeah, right. Actually, that's just the market price of 2 stadium beers.
Well, you got that right.
It's not really a fine. It's a reimbursement. It's really.
I remember, honestly, got about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I took Dan and 2 of his friends to a Viking game. I ended up buying a 12-pack of Miller Lite, one at a time, of course.
Right.
It's $120. Jesus. $120 for a 12-pack of Miller Lite.
Yeah, Dan, before he goes to Vikings games now, he was at the one yesterday. He's like, I have to fill up on as much food as I possibly can, so I don't want to eat anything. Because he's like, not even is the food expensive, but then if you drink a lot, water, beer, whatever, the bathroom lines are like 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just want to stay in my seat and watch the game.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you definitely want to tailgate and go banana. I did the same thing when I lived in New York just to go to bars. I couldn't afford to drink in bars in New York City.
$18 for scotch and soda.
You got to tailgate a pub in New York.
Yes.
Okay, quick aside here. I'll be very fast about this, and I won't say where we were, but we got Alex's kids got a pair of hiking boots, both of them. 7-year-old girl, 5-year-old boy. Got a good price on them. The original price. These are children's hiking boots.
Kids stuff is very expensive.
$200 a pair.
Okay, that's
what?
Unusually expensive.
Am I making that up, Alex?
Oh, it's $200 a pair. Like the original price. We were at like an outlet sale, so it was like way less than that. But I looked at the
leather.
I looked at the original price and I was like, $200. They'll probably wear them for like 4 months.
Yeah,
before
they'll
they
grow out of them
I
or
know.
lose them.
I know.
They will.
And like children hiking, it's not like you're going on an intense hike. Any hike that my kids are doing, they could wear
Barn Bluff.
They could wear ballet flats, and it wouldn't matter.
We buy Ethan's shoes at Goodwill or Once Upon a Child.
Because
it's like
yes.
he's going to wear them for 15 minutes and then he'll outgrow them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much true. But $200 for a pair of shoes for a 5-year-old.
I have never
Who
paid
would actually
$200
spend
for a
that?
pair of shoes myself.
I mean, who
ever.
would spend that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, other than like Beyonce, she's got a lot of money.
There you go.
There are people who would do it. Absolutely. Oh God, the 90s, the whole got to have those Air Jordans. I'm sure those were not cheap.
Oh, that's still a thing. You'll see
Yeah.
families post where they all got the same.
Yep.
Oh,
Jordans
really?
on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan really gave the shoe industry a boost.
Oh, he did. There's no doubt about that.
Mhm.
The entire company started up because of him.
If he could only give the Vikings a boost.
Oh, Kathryn's going after the Vikings, Kostaki.
He's not a football player. He's a golfer. Get it right.
Yeah, there you go.
Would you trade Kirk Cousins at this point?
I would trade Kirk Cousins for a bag of chips and tickets to a Twins game at this point. Like, we need to move on.
I know he really, I want to like him because I think he's likable.
Yeah.
But he's just not good.
Well, he's good. He's just not good enough, and our team isn't going anywhere no matter how good he plays. So we might as well just rip the Band-Aid off.
That's true.
Yeah.
Somebody thought he'd end up where would they think he was going? Oh, to
The Jets.
the Jets.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, if I were the Jets or the Falcons, I would try to trade for Kirk Cousins because, like Tevin said, at this point, the team's probably dead in the water anyway. If you can get some value for him and turn the page, it's probably a good move. And for those other teams, they have sort of the pieces in place except for a quarterback, and maybe that'd be a good match. So
could be.
I don't know. I don't know if you followed the TikTok star news. Alex Earl, apparently some model on TikTok. She revealed this week that her boyfriend is Miami wide receiver Braxton Berrios.
That's so exciting.
Wow.
So exciting.
I know. I saw the article and it was saying it like it was big news. Like I can't. It's hard for me to care even less about this. Berrios briefly sniffed the roster of one of my fantasy teams this year, but we had to cut him after the Dolphins had 70 points and he had only 33 yards.
70 points.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Get out.
Sorry, Braxton. You got to go.
Yeah.
You're no longer Bijan Amopoulos material, sir. The Jaguars had the biggest upset in London since Brexit. Good for them.
Oh, biggest upset, Brexit.
Yeah.
Good.
Trevor Lawrence looks like what a British person thinks an American looks like, right? Just a big, huge dude, right?
Yeah.
Long blonde hair. All right, let's see if we can close on this joke. In the Mississippi welfare case, Brett Favre will be questioned under oath. He's hoping Oath is the nickname of a hot sideline reporter.
Oh, under oath. Get it?
Oh, dear.
Under oath.
He would like to be questioned under oath. All right.
Magnificent report, I thought.
Thanks, guys. Well, we get all right. So can we have second teams that we like? Can we have a different team? Can we just pick a good team?
I adopt a second team every year.
Okay.
now,
Yeah,
just
you
on
got
that.
it. Well, who is it? Who might actually make
Who's
it?
your team, Tevin? Who are you
I mean,
rooting
I'm a
for?
fan of the 49ers just because they're a powerhouse. No, I can't bring myself to cheer for the Eagles, but yeah, I would say probably the 49ers at this point, just because I would like to see
All right,
greatness.
should we adopt that team? What do you think?
Yeah,
they're 5-0.
Who's a quarterback?
Brock
pick a
Purdy.
good
He was literally the last pick in the draft 2 years ago. So a great underdog story for everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
They're a powerhouse team, so you're not going to have to watch them lose a lot of games.
Like that.
Right, that's good. That's always good.
I think they're gonna, it'll
Are
give
they
you
okay?
something.
We're now 49ers fans.
We're
I
picking
always-
a second team.
Although you have to wait till after, you have to wait for 3 weeks because we played the 49ers.
Oh, we're gonna
So
lose.
then after that,
I always like the Seahawks, my second, because I like their outfits.
Good outfits.
Yeah, good
uniforms.
outfit. No,
Uniforms.
it's an outfit. When I'm basing it off of that's my second team,
Yeah.
it's an outfit.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine referring to what you wear to the games as a fan as costumes. Look at those guys in their costumes.
I mean, it can go into that
Oh,
territory.
Absolutely. When people are
Especially
painting
at
their
the Vikings-
face,
the
yeah.
Vikings games.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan said that the fans last night, they played the Chiefs, right?
Yep.
That they were all very nice. And there
Oh.
were a lot of Chiefs fans, and he was like, they were great fans. Because he's like, sometimes you go to the games and you're like, these people
Midwesterners.
are obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, they're Midwest, so they're regular folks,
Right,
and they came from a team that wasn't good for years, and now
Yeah.
they're great.
They're humble.
Plus, when you're traveling and paying NFL ticket prices, it weeds out a lot of the characters that would otherwise.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless they're Eagles.
That is true.
My brother was saying that he went to the national championship game in college a couple of years ago, and it was Georgia versus Alabama. And he said the fans were great. And I was thinking, yeah, they're great because tickets are a couple $100 plus. You know, if those tickets were $40 each, that would be chaos.
Oh
Yes.
God,
Yes. It would be.
it would be horrible.
Well, last week we went to the Twins game, and there were a couple of guys at the window trying to buy tickets, and they said, "Can we get standing room only?" And she said, "No, there's no standing room only tickets left. There's only $94 a ticket," and that was terrible seats.
Way terrible.
Way terrible seats. It's like, okay, so the game is starting. It started, and you're not going to dump the remaining seats. How
Yeah.
dumb is that?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
ticket is
$100.
worse than standing room? Are you behind a pole or something? What?
Yeah, it's probably limited visibility or so
Probably.
far up there you can't even see the players.
You're not allowed in. You just can say that you've been there.
Yeah, you can hear it from where
Exactly.
you are.
Yeah.
I
It's like
kind of
a-
like those kind of seats personally.
Really?
Challenge mode?
I briefly chatted with George Carlin's kid for a little while. Kelly Carlin, have you guys had her on? She's a
Yeah, we have
character.
had her
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
She's great.
She was saying George was a big Raiders fan, and he would get these fancy box seats. People would give him seats to things and whatever, and he hated sitting with all the rich people who didn't care about the outcome of the game. And he would go down into the pit, like in the end zone somewhere, and watch the game with those characters. He just enjoyed that more. I just love that. That makes me like George even more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with the down in the black hole or whatever they call
Right,
it.
right. Yeah.
I just love all those people that show up in costumes. It's like,
Yes,
what?
in their costumes.
Like, what?
Pretty hard to have a Minnesota Twins costume.
Yeah, really.
It's
What do
all-
you
it's always
dress up
football.
as a
Football,
river?
Yeah. The football is a big one. They dress up as like mafia members and stuff.
Oh,
It's
we have a
funny.
lot of really overweight Vikings.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Well, they haven't
Purple
pillaged in a long
Vikings.
time. They're out of
I was going to
practice.
say, not a lot of pillaging
Yeah.
going on. They got to up their game.
There's plenty of those.
I imagine. All right, young man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Stocky Economonopolis.
What?
Stocky Economopolis.
How long have we done this, Tom?
Jesus, well,
Well, I just typed my own name as Kevin, so I think it's a thing today. I don't know what's happening today.
the Stocky Economopolis. I was trying to get it up, and you guys trampled me.
That's what it was.
It's us.
Typical.
It's us. Yes,
Typical.
It's not me, it's you.
Stocky, we'll talk to you later, Pally.
See you guys.
Thanks, bye. Stocky, we'll talk local.
Yeah. Well, it's an easy name to trip over.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, what's new in the world since we've
Oh,
I've been
I
here?
don't think you want to know.
Well, we talked a
Really?
little bit about it.
The Hamas thing?
Yeah.
God,
See, I don't know about any of these
horrible.
things until I come in here and I'm like, oh, what a. Ugh.
Well, what's amazing to me is so apparently there was a slaughter at a concert in the Gaza Strip.
Like hundreds of people, right?
Okay.
So Hamas is a terrorist group.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
base is in Palestine, but they are not officially like Palestinian military. or
And
anything.
interestingly enough, we just gave them $6 billion
Yeah.
or something like
Yep.
that 2
Yep.
weeks ago and made them promise that they would only use the money
know.
for, happy unicorn
Right.
stories.
That meant a lot.
Happy
Yeah.
unicorn stories.
And what did they do?
Yeah.
They
Maybe we should
slaughtered
just-
over, there's like 230 people dead that they know of, over 1,000 wounded. Most of the people are women,
Really?
Of course they
raped
are.
and carried through the streets. And we have Americans cheering for this.
We do.
Deaths
You're
past
absolutely-
1,100.
We have Americans cheering for it.
They're supporting Hamas.
Hamas has killed 1,100 people and kidnapped over 100.
Hamas also says death to all Americans and
Yep,
death
Hamas
to
doesn't like
Israel.
America.
No, it's a bad group, and
Why did
we're
we give
giving them
them
money?
money?
Because this is what we do.
Yeah, that's
what
what
Biden
America
does.
does. We just fund every war we possibly can, apparently.
Yeah. First of all, give somebody $6 billion, and then like, what are you expecting them to do? with
Well, like
the
Yeah,
money?
what's the
like, what
plan?
were- yeah.
well, like Ukraine. I think we gave them how many billions of dollars?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. Maybe it's up to $1 trillion now that we've given the Ukraine, and they have no accountability for what they're buying.
Nope.
Nope.
None.
It's-
None. We have no weapon.
Mhm.
We're buying the weapons for you, and instead of just shoveling money to them, and we have there's no accountability.
Right. It's a lot like almost like because people will be like, oh, I don't give a homeless person $20. I don't want them to go buy drugs.
I'd
I
rather
give them
buy him a
food
sandwich.
or a sandwich. Like
Exactly.
it should be that same kind of
Exactly. Thank you.
concept.
Would you run for president? Because we clearly need a change in the regime.
Oh boy.
Well, that's the whole problem. It's not their money, so they don't care how much they give to anybody. It's not
Right.
their money. What do they
Right.
care?
Right.
And so, what are the people that are supporting Hamas from like America that are saying like, oh, good for them? Like, what's their? Do
Apparently
they have a
our- the
logical
the
reason
squad,
for it?
AOC, Ilhan Omar, they have been anti-Israel for quite some time.
The very far left is very anti-Israel.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Israelis are white passing, I think.
I mean, seriously, it is
all it takes.
unbelievable what is going on. I mean, the Jews have lived in Israel for 5,000 years, and Palestine wants them out. And then there's the Gaza Strip, which is supposed to be the neutral territory. and a lot of Palestinians and Israelites live on the Strip and have peacefully.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, nope, we
Mhm.
got to get them out of there. We want this tiny little bit of land back.
And like, if you're the squad is anti, like, I don't care if you're anti anybody, like, you should never be supportive of a slaughter of 250 people at a
you're
concert.
a congressperson.
Right.
You're not supposed to be like siding with terrorists. Sorry.
So what is the, and again, I brought this up about a week ago, 2 weeks ago on the morning show. I just don't know, what is this whole deal with skin color still? We're just never going to get over skin color, are we?
No.
Wow.
Why?
Because it's becoming like an industrial complex.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sure. Well, it's also easy. It's like
Yeah,
it's the first
true.
thing you
That's
notice
true.
about foreign people is that they look different
Right.
from you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy way to tell, like, oh, this person's not like me.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I was listening to a woman doing a speech on TV. Only listened for a couple of minutes, but basically, the most hated person on earth is probably me, because I am everything they hate. I'm an American. I'm a white male, straight American. It's getting worse.
Don't say that out
I'm
loud.
Roman Catholic. They hate Catholics now. I am everything they hate.
And
It's
you're
like,
a boomer. That's even
oh,
worse.
and I'm a boomer. I forgot. That's even worse.
We discovered you're a true boomer this weekend with that game that we played.
Yep,
Oh, I
we
didn't know
played. We
about this.
played a trivia game, and it had different generations.
Oh, you did the
It's called-
generational thing?
It's called All of Us.
Okay.
And it was
The Last of Us?
Boomer, Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z.
We played something like that at Melissa's house like last year.
So we found out that Dad
Isn't
is
Melissa's house your house?
Well, I mean, Melissa's brother's house.
I was gonna say, it's like,
Yes,
don't
you guys
live
have
there?
the same house, right?
Well, she runs the house. I just live there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's
That's
her
right.
house. I just show
I
up.
take no claim over this
Yeah,
territory.
we found out that Mom is more Gen X,
Way more.
than
I'm like, I don't know
Boomer.
any of these boomer questions.
Yeah, she didn't know any of the boomer things. Dan kind of runs the gambit of all of it, except Gen Z. He didn't really know any.
No,
and I
I'm
either
like
knew
millennial and Gen X is kind of my thing.
I was very much millennial.
Yes,
and I either knew
Yeah, you were killing it then.
100% of the Gen Z questions because it was like 4 questions on a card, or I had no idea what any of the words meant. I was like, "What's going on? What is that? I don't even know what this means."
Because you guys played this at a bar.
No, we played it at our
restaurant?
Airbnb.
Oh, just at the
Yeah, we
Airbnb,
were
okay.
we were in Red Wing over the weekend for a wedding.
Yeah.
And they had a brand new, completely wrapped up game. And we're like, oh, we'll use the.
And
we'll try this.
we didn't even play the game because it's like you're supposed to move the thing for every
Yeah,
X
right.
amount of questions.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were like, let's just ask the
I
questions.
know there's just a lot of rules.
So the kids went to bed and we played the game, and we were like, we should play this on the podcast because it was really
we should
quite
play it
funny.
on the podcast.
It was
You're
pretty
right,
funny.
we
A
should.
card a day or something.
I'll order it.
No, there you go. One.
Put
Yeah,
it on
the card
put
of
on
the
the
day.
company credit card.
Because you, yeah. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Andy,
Expense
you ordered
that.
because I don't have
Expense
it.
that.
Because Tevin, do you think that you would have any Gen Z? Because are you
Yeah, of
what's
anyone,
the cutoff?
Yeah, what
You
are
would.
you?
Honestly,
You're not
I
Gen
don't
Z.
even know what the age group for Gen Z
I don't
and
know
stuff
either.
is. Like, what's because I'm
The
a
birthday.
millennial.
You're like a
97.
young millennial.
Yeah.
97 is the oldest Gen Z.
That's the oldest.
Oh, okay.
97.
So you're
what
not-
year were you born?
92.
Yeah, you're not Gen
Okay.
Z, but you're like
so you're like a
close-ish.
younger millennial.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would do. I
So
think
you're
I would
probably
do well
you're
in
probably a
Gen Z.
crossover
Yeah.
to both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know some of it because of being around teenagers at like Fawn's
Mhm.
dance studio. And
Yeah.
then some of Fawn's stuff, like I knew an answer to this one question about a cartoon, and I was like, oh, that's that one book that we had from the library once.
Yeah.
And it was like, because of Fawn,
Right.
Fawn doesn't know what it is, But I was like, so because of I have kind of knew some of the things. I don't know.
The other
Yeah.
Andy says the informal definition is not remembering 9/11. That makes you Gen Z.
That makes you a Gen Z.
don't- oh,
Not
okay.
remembering 9/11, really.
Yeah, because you were too young to.
You would have been
go.
too young.
Yeah,
Oh.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's that.
Oh my gosh, I
yeah,
have to leave.
because that's like 1996. I would say probably you couldn't remember it.
Yeah, because I was in 4th grade. I think when that happened.
Well, you
so
probably
that-
had to leave
I was in
school. You might
7th.
remember
Actually,
that.
We didn't leave school.
No, I
didn't
actually
leave
was.
school?
Yeah, you picked us up.
It happened
Lord,
immediately in the morning,
That's
and I actually ran to school because my mom was like, make sure they have the news on and are paying
Oh.
attention. And so,
I remember seeing it. They wheeled a
'Cause,
TV in to class.
you dropped us off, and then it was like in homeroom. All of a sudden, they were wheeling this stuff in,
Yeah.
and then you came and got us like a half hour later.
Yeah, we got calls.
Yeah.
To come and get.
I
your
don't remember
kids.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to leave.
Damn.
Bye.
I think we stayed in school.
Bye.
See you later. See you later. So how old is the youngest baby boomer?
65.
65.
1965.
So that would have been Troy. Troy was born in
Yeah.
1965. Yeah.
They keep on changing the baby
Well,
boomer.
it's not like set in stone. These are informal.
Oh,
Oh, it's 60. Oh, 64. Okay.
because my whole life I wasn't a baby boomer, and then all of a sudden I was a baby boomer.
No, you've always been smack dab in the middle of baby boomer, I would say.
No.
You're the daughter
No.
of a World War II veteran. That's like
Yeah, but
the
he was
definition
like-
of baby
Yeah,
boomer.
but he was like 10 when he went into the war. So
That's still
Changed
technically
things.
it's the baby boom. They came back and they started having kids.
yeah, I
That's how it.
guess.
That's why it's called the baby boom. And then
Wow.
Gen X is called Gen X because it sounds cool.
I know
Yeah,
there was,
exactly.
there was no desire for 5 children. and,
Why
I,
is it-
and I was the 5th.
Why is it that people have so much trouble with generations? That the separation of the generational separation. Why is that such a problem?
Because
It's always been a problem.
I
It
think,
always has been.
I
you're
think
right.
it's because when you raise children, you expect them to kind of take on your values and maybe,
I never did.
I'm just saying, not talking about you.
Well, and I'm just saying
In
I never saw
particular.
it that way.
Well, I think that a lot of people do. It's like, oh, they should be kind of thinking like I do because I raised them and I
Okay.
fed them and I clothed
Yeah.
them and I housed them. And then when they want to do their own thing, it's kind of like a little bit disrespectful, even though that's how everything
That's how it
should
works.
be.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be like that.
So basically, do their friends kind of go, "What do you believe that for?" That's not. I mean, is it?
No, I
like
think it's
a
just
school.
It's
or-
cultural or
It's
not
absolutely-
miasma,
it's
osmosis.
Music is one of the biggest cultural.
Yeah, that's true.
Cultural. I
changes.
mean, 90% of my personality from the ages of 6 to probably 30 came directly from video games. And that wasn't done on purpose. It's not like they made video games to shape my culture. I just, that's what I
that's
grew
what
up
you
with.
were exposed
That's
to.
what I spend my
Right.
time doing. So
Yeah, and
that's
television shows, they all
TV
changed.
shows are a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although nowadays TV shows are being made specifically to shape culture, which
This
is
is
why
true.
they're so horrible.
This is true.
Yeah, that is very.
A
very
lot of bad crap on TV these days.
What's
Yes.
interesting though is my whole life, and I suppose because of music, I guess that's what it's all about. But I've enjoyed music, all kinds of music, my whole life. My grandmas, my parents, my generation, Andy and Alex generation.
Yeah, we always played a lot of different
Yeah.
music.
Well, I think most people eventually do. It just between the ages of 13 and 17.
Yeah,
or
you're so
whatever,
impressionable and
You're
so
like, oh, I
so
gotta-
desperate to fit in.
Got to be my
Yeah.
own person. I can't like
Mhm.
what the old people are liking. I got to like the new cool stuff, or else I won't fit in.
Right.
Put a lot of pressure
That's
on
true.
our parents being from the greatest generation. That'd be a little difficult.
Yeah, greatest generation.
The greatest generation.
And then, do you even know what the generation between greatest and boomer is?
No.
Second greatest generation.
Yeah, there you go.
The runner-up generation. No, there is a generation, but no one knows about them, and they are fittingly called the silent generation.
And what
Oh, I knew that. I almost said it.
It's between
I thought I'd be
greatest generation and baby boomer. So it's like, I don't know, 20 to 40 or something like that. Silent generation. 25 to 45. So people born during the war, basically.
20 25.
1925?
1925 to 1940.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep. We have a silent generation president at the moment.
Oh, so that's
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's that old.
He's that
people.
old.
He's
I
that
was
old.
like, that's like 100 years old.
Yeah, the beginning of that generation will be 100 in 2 years.
So why were they called the silent generation?
Because, well, they were born during the most warlike period in American history, arguably. They didn't really have any culture except for watching war propaganda.
Yeah.
They didn't fight in the war, but they were also they didn't grow up during peacetime. Well, a lot of them didn't grow up during peacetime.
So they were born between the First and Second World Wars.
Yeah.
So they didn't serve in either one of them.
Exactly. So they didn't really
Okay.
have a culture or a purpose or anything like that. They just kind of waited around for the wars to end.
So you said 1925 that was?
25 to 45.
Yeah. So my parents were both 1920, so they
They were
missed out.
greatest. What's the
They
one
were the greatest.
before greatest?
I don't know.
Is there even?
There might not.
And when did we start labeling
Yeah,
generations?
when did we get
Yeah.
infatuated with labeling
Right.
everybody?
Before the first generation with a name is the one before the greatest generation, and that's the lost generation.
Lost from what?
Great question. Let's see.
The lost generation.
Lost generation.
Oh, today's Columbus Day?
Yes.
And
it is.
also
Not that I ever
Indigenous
really-
People
Yep.
Day.
Well,
or
guess
something.
what my calendar says? Columbus Day.
Okay.
Notes. This is not a nationwide holiday. It may not be observed in your region.
Only Italians care about it.
That's probably true. That
So,
probably
yeah,
is
I
true.
mean, they've literally deleted, right? Columbus Day. They
Oh,
don't.
yeah,
they don't
pretty-
take it off
No.
in school. It used to be
No.
that was a day off of school.
It was, yeah. At Catholic school.
Well, why don't they just keep it a day off of school and call it Indigenous Peoples Day?
And I always love that too when they do that anyway. We're taking away this holiday and we're going to replace it with our own holiday. It's like, if I were Indigenous, I'd go, I don't want some used holiday.
That is a good
Right, I want my
point.
I want my own
sparkling
holiday. I want
clean
your
holiday,
used
yeah.
up holiday. Forget it.
Lost generation is basically because their lives sucked.
What?
World War One, Industrial
Yeah.
Revolution, Spanish flu, Great Depression.
Oh, God.
Well, that's true.
Watching their children go off to World War II.
Well,
Oh,
Not a good
God.
time. I mean, slavery had just been abolished fairly recently before that.
oh God.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time in
Wow,
American
no,
history.
slavery was
They
abolished in 1855.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Lost Generation was born in 1883. So,
Oh, my God. That's
Mhm.
going back.
yep, exactly.
Man.
There you go. So,
Sometimes
yeah,
you
late
forget how young
1800s.
this country really is.
That
Yeah,
is true.
Mhm.
Yeah, late
Compared to
18
everybody else.
Late 1800s, early 1900s, not a good time to be born, I would argue,
Yeah,
for
I
anyone.
think you might be right there.
Yeah, probably true.
Yep.
A lot of world wars going on.
Yeah.
Although we've been at war constantly since then anyway.
I think the 20th century was more warlike than the 19th century.
It
I
was,
think.
yeah. I think so. I think you're absolutely
In fact, how
right
many
about that.
wars were we even in the 19th century?
Well,
Any?
I think the world is always there's a war going on
Well, there
on this
is.
planet.
Yeah, but I'm
But,
talking
like,
all of the
specifically
time. They're just
America.
more regional.
And then because we went through that weird phase where we stopped calling them wars and it was conflicts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conflict.
Well, that's
yeah.
because
We have a
technically,
conflict.
Sounds so much better.
Yeah, it was
technically,
Vietnam. Yeah.
we haven't declared war since like World War II or something. Like
Right.
that. Because we didn't go to war with North Vietnam. We just fought the North
Yep.
Vietnamese.
That's
We
right.
didn't go to
To
war.
me, if our kids are dying, it's a war.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's largely it's semantic
Yeah.
trickery. But
Yeah, I lost
still.
4 friends in the Vietnam War. Four of my friends went to Vietnam and never came home. So that was unbelievable.
19th century war. It was mostly just America versus random Indian tribe. Oh, and Mexico.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
We fought
absolutely.
Mexico.
Oh,
War
that's
of
right.
1812.
Yeah.
So we fought Canada, right?
Yeah,
technically.
we had a war with Canada.
Yep, Spain. So yeah, no, we've been doing plenty. We went to war with China during the Opium Wars. Yeah.
Well,
so-
that was more sanctions, right? We didn't send any troops over. I don't think.
I think we did.
we did.
To China?
Opium
To
War.
burn
I don't think so.
opium.
Belligerence. We had 11 killed in that war. So
Oh,
we
there you
didn't send
go.
a lot of people, but
No.
Okay.
How old were you when like your friends went to Vietnam?
I was 18. Well, the first ones I was 16. They were a
Okay.
couple years older than me.
Okay. Like to me, that's such a bizarre or like because going to war, I feel like now people are very casual about it. Like, oh my, somebody
Yeah,
joined the
yeah.
army. But like to me, it's like, yeah, your friends or your son or your daughter could leave, and that's the last time.
I know,
you ever
it's
seen- was
weird.
that like a profound moment for you?
Well, I tell you what, when did we go to Washington, D.C. as a family? How long ago was that?
it was probably like 15-ish.
Yeah.
So
You were
2000, 2001.
Honest to God, that was 20 years ago already?
Yes,
Jesus.
sir. Like I said, add 10 years to everything you think.
Yep,
Yeah,
that is very true.
So we went and saw the Vietnam War Memorial,
Mhm.
and I found all 4 of them. Kathryn and I were walking up and down. We found all 4 of their names on there. And that was profound because I'm in
Yes.
Washington, D.C. anyway.
Mhm.
And then there's this beautiful wall. And then there are 4 people that I know named on that wall. And it's like, that felt really
know.
weird.
You just look at that and you think all of those names. It just,
Yep.
ugh.
Yeah, and that is why we
Yes.
haven't had a
Killer.
draft since.
But I will tell you one thing that was worse than that. And I am not kidding you. Worst place I've ever been. And I don't think I could ever do it again. There is the Holocaust Memorial.
Ugh.
And that rail car with little baby shoes in it. Oh God. I don't know how people can go through that more than once. It's a huge pile of little kid and baby shoes. They all died in the war. It's like, oh God. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Jesus. That was tough.
Yep.
That was a tough situation. All right, moving on to other subjects. Now we're talking about dead babies.
Yeah.
Good God. But no, I mean, look at that. We just started talking a little bit, and we just ran into 7 wars while we were talking. It's like, Jesus, why don't you have another war, for Christ's
Well,
sake?
I wonder what's going to happen now, because Israel isn't going to, sit still, waiting, being happy about this.
Ain't gonna be
At
good.
some point, you would think other countries are going to try and step in.
Well,
But then
and
it's
what
like,
the heck is America going to be doing if we've got a Congress that's on the side of, that they're going to vote on the side of the terrorists? What are you going? I mean, how do we get out of this kind of stuff? I don't understand
Why don't we
this.
stay out of this kind of stuff?
We're
It's
just
none
going
of
to
our
have to
business
become
anyway.
isolationists, I think, as
We're
the
gonna
world
have
becomes
to.
more warlike. Everyone hates each other more.
Well,
We're just going to have to be like, sorry, we
I
can't
just
be
don't
part of it.
understand how people haven't evolved. It seems like they're going back to the dark ages instead of going forward and just, hey, why don't you just live your life and I'll live
Right.
mine, and this would be a great thing for everybody. Why are they constantly trying to kill each other?
I don't
As
know.
far as
Over
I know,
ancient
stupid.
Some
squabbles.
Palestinians believe that Israel belongs to Palestine, and the Israelis believe that Palestine belongs to the
Okay, so we have to go back.
Israel or
We have to
something.
go back over 5,000 years to.
That is,
I mean, it's 5,000 years, people.
well,
Get over it.
the Russia-Ukraine
while.
war, that's about territory as well. Russia believes that they own part of Ukraine. And China and Taiwan, same thing.
Why not just develop fair trade deals and let everybody just live their lives?
Well, that's the thing about like Russia and China. It's like you got enough land. What do you need more room to build?
right. Russia's not hurting.
Does
Russia's
it matter if you really own this extra 0.1% of your total land
Well,
mass?
most of the time it's about some sort of a mineral that they want or something that they
Yeah.
want. And it's like, why don't you just pay for it like a normal country?
Right.
Just
all
buy it.
all this money that you're spending by manufacturing this war, you probably could have negotiated.
Could have
out some
bought
sort of
your
deal. Yep.
cobalt or whatever the hell it is that you want. I don't know what it is that they want, but
Do you want my prediction of what's going to happen from all this? Because I actually predicted this about 2 weeks ago,
What?
that this war was going to start. Were you weren't on the show that day when I started arguing with everybody about?
I don't remember the argument being about Israel, but I remember because Chris.
Well,
was on,
it
so
was
yeah.
about Africa and
Yeah, but I do remember
Middle
that.
East.
Yep, because you're saying they're very racist.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they
Yeah.
hate one
Well,
another.
South Africa is like notoriously racist.
Oh God,
What I've heard.
there's no doubt about that. And everybody got all upset with me, all the rest of it. But it's just, honest to God, I know I lost my train. Oh,
you had a
You predicted
prediction.
it.
I did have a
And
prediction.
what's going to happen?
No, I predicted this war was going to kick off and all the rest of it because let me say this, because I would say to all three of you, I highly doubt that any of the three of you hate anyone. I mean, there are people you dislike, but is there anyone you hate?
No. Like
I wouldn't
enough
think
to
so.
go cause
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
physical harm? No, because I've got
No.
better things to do with my life
Exactly.
than worry about that shit.
Kathryn, you don't hate anybody or people you
Not-
dislike.
Not
Andy,
enough to
same story.
kill them over something stupid like a plot of land.
I mean, that's the whole deal. Andy, you don't hate anybody, do you?
I don't know anyone.
That's true. You don't know anybody, so you can't hate anybody. That's a very good point, actually. No, I just really, really wish we get beyond that whole. And this is something we've been talking about back when I was still on KQ. I said, there is a wave of hatred coming in this world like you ain't going to believe.
Not coming. It is here.
No, that was years ago I said that.
Oh.
It is so predictable, and it's all based on money and power. All of it.
It has been since the very first word was written down.
You got that
So-
right. It's true. This is all, again, do you think the United States didn't know what they were doing when they gave money to Hamas? They knew exactly what the hell would happen.
How did they not know?
Exactly. I think
If they didn't know, then that's another
No,
whole
oh,
big
that's
problem.
You're getting $6 billion without
Yeah.
knowing.
Apparently, what happened was Hamas was like, "We're tired of fighting. We want to have this money so we can expand science and
So we were
believe
game.
that?
We were game.
Exactly,
We were
yes.
a $6 billion
believe
game.
that
We were
bullshit?
gamed.
Well, I mean, look
Okay.
at what America's been doing for the past 10, 20 years. We're just giving money to anyone who comes and says, yeah, I am totally on board with your whole Western imperialism stuff.
Right.
I have my next prediction. You want to hear my next prediction? He was close enough the way it was, but I don't think there's any way that our current president gets reelected now, because that was his idea to give him that money. I don't
don't
there's
know.
no way he's getting reelected.
I don't
Not
think
a
most
chance.
Americans actually
I don't
care.
know how anybody can vote for him. I don't.
Well, it's true.
I just don't.
Most they just care. He's got the D in front of his name.
Yeah,
They'll vote
it's
for
the
him.
D or the R.
That's
Nobody
all
cares.
My
Yeah.
God, just look at the economy. Look at the state of the world.
Terrible.
Doesn't matter to them.
Well, because even like when you vote and they like the whatever political people will call you and be like, oh, hey, like, did you vote all Republican or all Democrat? And it's like that shouldn't even be a question
No.
I
that you
agree.
ask. Like, what
Yep.
you
But they want that control. They want you to feel like
Right.
you have to.
and like I remember, like I was on the phone, like the lady, I was like, what? No, I was like, no, because some of these people that are on the list are not great people, so
Right.
I didn't want to vote for them. Like,
Right.
there's
No, it's exactly
People
right.
need to be more open minded and. Like,
Exactly.
It's just this whole thing is falling apart. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't
Yeah,
think
remember when
Biden's
Trump was running and they said that he was going to crash the economy and start World War III?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. I remember.
And now we're probably closer to all of that
Oh, we're definitely closer to all that
than
stuff.
we have been in a long time.
Look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't even know who the hell I'm going to vote for. You. I have no idea who I'm going to vote for.
No, I feel like I usually don't know who I'm going to vote for until like a couple days before. It's like there's always new new information
I
coming
would
in that we got.
definitely vote for Vivek.
Ramaswamy.
I really think he's an intelligent
He's
person
very
who
intelligent.
talks to both sides before he makes decisions, and he can talk intelligently to people. He doesn't ramble on and on like a complete moron. Like,
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
and I think that he has
Kevin,
he
I
has
don't ramble on and on like some people.
and he actually loves America.
He does. Yep,
Yes.
that's true.
His parents are
Why-
immigrants, and
Why do they not like him? What did he do?
he's just young and
Didn't he want to? They said he wanted to end some. And there was something that got all pissed off at him about. I haven't even looked close enough to know what it was, but he advocated for something, and they said that was absolutely horrible.
What-
But I don't know what. Andy, would you check and see if you can find anything quickly?
I've got a number
Something
to
horrible?
give him
Vivek
on the
Ramaswamy
podcast.
is a guy running for president.
Well, yeah.
Well,
but
he's not going to, like I said, he's not going to make it because he's not going to get the endorsement. He's not going to get the huge cash.
no, it'll
But-
be Trump.
He's got his own huge cash. He's a billionaire.
Never invest your own money.
I suppose that's true.
No billionaire invests their own
That's
money.
true. Yeah, I don't know. I have
Somebody else's money.
I would probably be more likely to vote for a billionaire if he did invest his own money. Like,
Well, he
Yeah.
made his own money.
right. But I'm
He,
saying
so,
if he
he
was
had he started a tech company that he sold.
yeah.
I mean, he
Mhm.
started it himself. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think-
saying like if he's like I'm running for president and rather than going out and being like I need all of you to give me money so
well,
I can
none
run.
of them do.
Right, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
maybe if he did,
Yeah,
he'd get a little bit more
yeah. Well,
respect from his constituents.
maybe he's put some of his own money in, but I don't think it's ever a good idea.
Why not?
Because if you lose, you've spent. Well, yeah. I mean, you've got $1 billion.
Yeah.
I know,
I'm
but
not saying put every last dollar.
I
in,
don't
but-
know when you're a billionaire if you've got $1 billion of cash laying around. Usually, it's
Yeah, that's
invested
true,
in
yeah,
stuff.
like,
It's
different
on.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure they got plenty of cash, way more than I will
Right,
ever
exactly.
see in my entire life. But
Still not that much.
it's
No.
probably not as much as you
It's
think.
probably
Yeah.
maybe 1/100% of their total net worth is
Yeah,
liquid.
I've got $1 billion
Yeah.
in my checking account,
Yeah.
Right. Just
my
Let me-
Venmo account, $1 billion.
let me transfer my Cash App over to my bank account.
Yeah, my
quick.
Cash App $1 billion. Yeah,
I don't want any more cash than the FDIC insures.
Yeah, well,
Any more than that, I'm putting it in something. As if I'll ever have $150,000 cash. But you know,
and Bill Gates, the news about him is he's got a new AI that's very close to predict or telling you what you can watch based on a social credit score.
can't I just
That's
not
the new thing.
care?
What? So if you don't have enough money, you can't watch a show?
I don't know if you've got a Roku thing and he'll install that on or somehow get that on Roku, so you won't even get access to stuff that you want to watch or could watch. That might not be socially acceptable, according to Bill Gates. Who put this guy in charge of everything?
Oh, I know, because he's
in charge of
money.
mosquitoes, vaccines, what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to watch. Why is he a thing?
I don't know.
Why do people like him other than that he gives political parties a ton of money? I mean, this guy should go away.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't want Bill Gates telling me what I can and cannot watch. Thank you.
Right.
This is what popped up when I say why some Americans love to hate Vivek Ramaswamy.
Okay.
This is what popped up. You ready?
Yep.
Why some Americans love to hate Vivek Ramaswamy. The most annoying thing about Vivek Ramaswamy for some people is not his wealth, but of his formidable powers of articulation.
Yes.
So he talks too well.
Apparently, he talks too well.
He's probably one of the smart. He's going to be the smartest guy in
he's
most
definitely
rooms.
yes.
He's very intelligent.
Well, there is something to be said for not talking over the intelligence level of your audience.
I don't think he does that. But
See, I've never actually heard him talk before, but I can see how people would think like some guy who's just constantly throwing around big words is annoying to listen to. It's like, even if, you're talking to the smartest person on earth, that person should be smart enough to know to talk in a way that you can understand them.
Yeah. Well, and in his defense, even if the words he's using aren't necessarily huge, the people he's running against are using such small words that they just seem so much bigger.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. They asked the questions: do people support Vivek Ramaswamy? What did Vivek Ramaswamy do? They don't know any of this stuff. It's been very well publicized.
People don't even know who he is.
I say
that's true.
Haven't heard of him till like right now.
Oh, you never heard of him?
I've heard the name, but like I couldn't have told you anything.
Couldn't
about
pick him out of a
two-man lineup with Oprah Winfrey. No.
Oh God, isn't that nice? She'd really appreciate that. I bet. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But Kathryn, you're leaning toward Vivek.
Well, I like him just because he seems to be able to speak to everybody.
Well, that's good. I would like that.
He definitely has a conservative slant to him, but I don't think it's one of those where it's like if you're not, he won't listen to other people. I think he would listen to everybody. That's what I think.
What did RFK do that pisses everybody off? Because I don't know. I didn't pay much attention, but apparently everybody.
I think a lot of people like him, but he is, his
voice puts a lot of people off.
Yeah, I've heard
There's
that.
nothing he can do about that.
There is nothing, but
Not
it's
his
still. I mean, it's dumb, but I wouldn't want to listen to a president give speeches like that for half an hour.
I mean,
it's unpleasant to listen to.
Biden did a good job.
Trump listening to him talk, I'm just like, oh my God, would you get to a point? Would you stay on one thing and move on?
I don't listen to
please?
presidential speeches anyway, but a lot of people do, and I can see how it's off-putting.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't know. I got to figure it out though, because what do we got? Another 12 months. That's it.
Well, the
12 and a half
primaries
months.
are in like 6 months.
Oh, don't we have a debate coming up again?
Yeah, I thought there was something
I
coming
think
up.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, Vivek's been on the debates, and most people say that he wins them because he's a good debate. He's a smart guy.
He is a smart guy. That's no doubt. We used to have him on the show once.
I have a feeling that he's going to become something.
Yeah, I
think
could see
he's just
that.
kind of newcomer, and I think he just needs people to find out who he is.
Do we have him on a couple of times?
Yeah, he wrote a couple
Once,
of different
maybe twice.
books.
Yeah,
I've got it. I'm going to give Tevin his people's numbers.
Yeah, we should probably get
so
him
we
on.
can get him
Probably
on.
a good
Yeah.
idea.
Would he even do it at this point?
Why
Yeah,
not?
I DM'd him.
He knows who we are.
See,
Tom Barnard.
Let's see. What if I
I'll
search?
be on if only if Bernard's
Yeah,
not
he
there.
was just at some sort of political. He gave a speech someplace, and there was somebody that came up and started screaming at him, and he always says, "Hey, come here, let me hear what you have to say. Let's talk about
Yeah, you
this."
don't have to yell at me.
No, this person ran away and then ran into his car. It did a hit and run.
What?
And ran off. Yeah, that just happened.
Huh.
Yeah.
Somebody must know my my birthday's coming up in a month.
Why?
I just got an email from Liberty Hearing. Hey, Thomas, don't miss the sale on our #1 rated rechargeable hearing aid.
Uh-oh.
Thanks. Oh, look at her rolling her eyes.
It'd be nice if you had one when we're watching TV. It doesn't blast my hair off my head.
What are you talking about?
I'm volume
It's
48
almost
is what I'm
silent.
talking about.
It's nearly
volume
silent.
48.
Very close to silent is all I'm saying to you. I don't know. Well, I mean, you're the youngest person in the room. Do you have any idea who you'd lean toward?
I mean, just based off of what Kathryn said, this Vivek guy seems nice.
Yeah, he does.
You know, but I'm the type of person where like I'm open to anybody's thoughts and ideas, and then like I don't care what side you're on. Like, hey, tell me what your ideas are. I'm not going to argue. Like when people try to talk politics and like they start to like get worked up, I'll be like, if you want to argue, like you should go find somebody else.
Yeah,
I'm not.
No, I'm not going to argue about it either.
But yeah.
So what do they want to argue about?
People like just love to like because when Trump was, you know, people love arguing about Trump, but when it was really bad, like if you ever said like, well, he did this one thing, I kind of like that, and you'd be like, oh, well, how could you say that? Did you hear what he said about? So no, I'm not saying like he's perfect, but nobody is. Like, yeah, like if he's the president, I'm gonna at least show some support. Because
where did people learn that? Because people learned that from somewhere in the last 20 years, I would say, that it's not enough for me to not. Oh God. I knew he was going to call me before the show was over.
Does he not? He knows that the show is still going on.
He's got to know.
He totally knows.
But he always does that. He always calls me at the very end. I'm going to have to learn to turn my phone off, I guess. But I'll call him in a couple of minutes. Now I've lost my train of thought. It's like working with Brittany. Having a phone next to you is like working with Brittany. You get interrupted constantly. What do you think?
Yeah.
What was I just talking about?
I don't know. But if it has to be a Democrat.
Oh, she just blows right by me.
I would vote for Kennedy if you had to have a Democrat in. Kennedy would be my.
He's never going to. He's going to get primaried instantly. I guarantee it.
I wouldn't mind him being president.
No,
I don't know. Vivek would be good. Kennedy be good. Anybody else? Anybody else standing out? Don't think so. I mean, I'm certainly not going to vote for either Biden or Trump. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
I think my ideal president is Biden handcuffed to Donald Trump.
And make them both do it. 4 years of being chained together. You know what? I'd vote for that. Yeah, you're right. I would vote for that in a minute.
Just to see what happens. Although they might both die in the next 4 years. So.
Yeah.
God,
you have two corpses handcuffed together as our president.
But yeah, that I would almost guarantee you that after this whole Hamas thing, there's no way Biden's going to make the cut.
I don't know. He's got the brand familiarity.
They're backpedaling about the support. Oh no, we didn't give it to him for weapons and more. No, we didn't do that. No,
well, they made him promise they wouldn't go to war.
They promised? Did they promise?
I know.
Okay.
Well, that makes you look even worse, honestly.
It does.
It
makes you look worse.
It's like we kind of expect funding
it's
coups.
Hamas, for Christ's sake.
You guys don't understand. They pinky swore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they pinky swore and everything. God.
I just love the thought of that. I'm going to take your money and give it to terrorists because they promised not to use it against Israel. It's not my money. It's your money.
I'm like,
oh God,
there's no amount of words that
there's not
can make it make sense.
So is anybody going to jump up and go, "Hey, look, I'm obviously the standout candidate"? It's not going to happen.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think there's got to be somebody that because it's going to be a complete circus. There'll be somebody that will eventually stand out because they don't go along with the whole circus act that are all the debates and everything. So somebody will hopefully rise to the top.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed for the sake of America.
No, Officer Dave says he'll provide the handcuffs. And he'll have the key, so he'll be the most powerful person in the country.
And honestly, Officer Dave, he probably doesn't even need the handcuffs because he's a big guy. He can just hold them in place and keep everybody alive.
He's kind of a sugar tit, though.
I wouldn't call Officer Dave a sugar tit.
I wouldn't if he were here.
Oh no,
not for his face.
There was one day where I said like, "Oh, I don't like Ham's beer," and then Officer Dave was in studio and he was like, I wanted to talk to you about how you don't like Ham's beer. He's like, because he likes it. I was like, I love Ham's beer now that you're here. I see how big you are. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he is a big fella. There's no question about
DeSantis was sinking, and now all of a sudden he's making more progress somehow.
Is he really?
I thought I liked him as the governor of Florida. I thought, I liked him, but then he started acting really weird, and his messaging got really goofy. And now I think he's trying to like straighten himself out. Like, this is what I really think. I think it just.
Is that you or Dan that told me about the listen issues? Apparently, DeSantis wears like 3-inch lifts inside his shoes, so he's
Does he?
taller.
Weird.
That's what I heard. That's what I was told.
That's not
anyway.
all that unusual.
Well, in
You'd be
Florida,
surprised how
though,
many.
in Florida, the average height is like 5'2".
It's true.
So
It's true. Everybody
that's a
is
deal.
tiny.
he is. Let's see. He's listed as 5'9". So
he's probably 5'7".
Well, I don't know if that's with or without lifts. It's hard
That's
to
true.
say.
That's a good point.
Isn't there like an average? Isn't the average height of a president usually around?
Presidents are fairly tall.
Yeah,
Yes.
usually they like people have a type that they seem to vote for.
Well,
And
we
again-
haven't had a president with facial hair in almost 100 years, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, that is a good
That's time. It's time for a bearded.
You know what? Wake up, America, and vote a beard into the office. Yeah.
I just love the fact that Donald Trump keeps telling everybody he's 6'4". I am right pretty much on 6 feet tall now. I've lost about 1.5 inches of height. I'm right at 6 feet. And there's a picture of Donald standing next to me, and we're the exact same height.
I was gonna say, didn't it used to be floating around in here somewhere? Yeah.
So there's still not a woman that is like.
Well, Nikki
true-
Haley was doing well, wasn't she? I thought.
But she
Yeah, she's-
changed parties, and that's always
yeah.
that pisses
They
people
don't like
off.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that there's not a woman yet that is a viable candidate that people could get excited about.
Well, I
'Cause
think
Kamala Harris is not it.
no one likes Harris.
No.
But yeah,
Talk about not being able to talk. Can you imagine listening to her give a speech?
Well, I remember when she whatever vice
Ugh.
president and they win and everyone's like, oh, it's so great. We have a black woman vice president. I was like, she's incarcerated more black people
Yeah.
than most white people.
And I don't even know
What
if she's
you gotta
actually
be?
black. Isn't she like
she's Indian and something.
Yeah,
she's Indian and
it's-
something else? I don't even think she's black.
If it's not white, we just lump it all in. with
I
black.
guess,
If it's,
I
if it's a
guess.
position of power, it's like we'll just claim it. But yeah,
I-
no, everybody was all happy. It's
She
like,
is.
Nice touch.
She's half Indian and half black. I
Oh,
think.
So we claim her.
okay.
We claim her. No,
I
no.
didn't even think she was.
Her father was half black and half Irish.
Okay,
So she is a
Okay.
quarter black, a quarter white,
And
and
half
half Indian.
Indian. Native, not Native
not
American.
native.
No,
India,
Indian.
Eastern Indian.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so she's
Look, we claim her a quarter of the ways. I guess.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. I don't know how the logistics of it work.
Quarter the way over.
I just it's hard to believe that in this day and age there hasn't been a woman that has done better in the political realm.
That's true.
Well, Hillary
other
really,
than just being, I mean,
Yeah, Hillary
Congress
probably
is
destroyed that.
Hillary torpedoed that whole movement.
She kind of did, didn't she?
she's just the worst.
All right, that's going to do it for another Monday. So we will talk to you tomorrow.